The Red Leopard Tribe. Lu Ming took out the map and looked at it. The underground world was very vast and was divided into hundreds of tribes. The Heavenly Wolf Tribe was located in the south. The Holy Mountain was in the center of this land. We've come here for the Martial Emperor's treasure. The entrance to the chaotic astral ocean must have been set up by someone. The ancient ancestor of this world suddenly descended several thousand years ago. Could that ancient ancestor be the one who set up that entrance? Or perhaps, the ancient ancestor was a martial emperor? At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. However, if he was really a martial emperor, why was he hiding in this place? And it had been sleeping for thousands of years without waking up. Lu Ming realized that the martial emperor's treasure was not as simple as it seemed. According to the tall and thin man, all the tribes were trying to capture the extraterrestrials, hoping to find the destined one. In more than a month, the Underdark humans would hold an ancestral worship ceremony. All the tribes would bring the extraterrestrials to the Holy Mountain. Only the destined one could pass all the tests and finally awaken the ancient ancestor. It seems like I can only go to that Holy Mountain if I want to know the secret. However, Lu Ming looked at the map and frowned. There were dozens of tribes between the Holy Mountain and the Heavenly Wolf Tribe. If he were to rush there, he would have to avoid the pursuit of the various tribes along the way. He didn't know when he would reach the Holy Mountain. Also, where is Xian Yanqing now? How was it? Lu Ming was very worried. Let's rush to the Holy Mountain first. Lu Ming kept the map and waved his hand. A giant wolf puppet appeared on the mountain peak. This was the giant wave puppet that was equivalent to the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier. Dandan, how do I use this puppet? Lu Ming asked. Although puppets were a branch of the Tao of inscription, Lu Ming had not come into contact with them. It's simple. Puppets are actually very similar to spirit weapons. They can be called a different type of spirit weapon, but there are still some differences. To control a puppet, it's very simple. You just have to erase the imprint of its previous owner on the puppet, then inject your mental energy into it to control the inscription on the puppet. Then, you'll naturally be able to control it. Dandan answered. Oh! Lu Ming placed his palm on the giant wolf puppet's head. A wisp of green mental energy fire seeped into the giant wolf puppet's head. Lu Ming discovered that the inside of the puppet was engraved with dense inscriptions. These inscriptions interweaved with each other and were extremely profound. Lu Ming sighed. The path of puppets was extremely wonderful. He had even heard that there were powerful puppet masters who could even create puppets with consciousness. They could learn and think like humans. That would be amazing. Lu Ming used his mental energy fire to erase the imprint of the puppet's previous owner. Then, he spread his own mental energy fire into a large inscription array in the puppet's mind. Immediately, a wonderful feeling welled up in his heart. He felt that he could control the puppet at will. With a thought, the puppet roared and spread its wings. It soared into the air and circled around before returning to the mountain peak. The rate at which mental fire is being consumed is truly shocking. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Controlling a puppet consumed a lot of spiritual energy. Without enough spiritual energy, it was difficult to control it. The higher the level of the puppet, the more mind power it would consume. However, at every level, Lu Ming had lit up 10 mental lamps, all of which had reached perfection. The strength of his mental energy was very shocking. He was much stronger and much thicker than many rank 6 true inscription refiners. It should be enough to control this puppet at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier. Lu Ming flew up and sat cross-legged on the back of the giant wolf puppet. The giant wolf puppet rose up and flew into the distance, towards the Holy Mountain. He only needed to consume his spiritual power to ride on the puppet. The puppet's speed was greatly increased. Soon, he had flown for tens of thousands of miles. Battle of Inscriptions. Lu Ming could not rush in at all. It's too disadvantageous for an inscriber who hasn't reached level 7 to inscribe an array in the air. However, with the strength of my mental energy fire, I don't need to reach level 7 to be able to inscribe an array in the air. Lu Ming was deep in thought as he fought. To the surface. With a thought, Lu Ming controlled the giant wolf puppet to rush to the ground. The others tried to stop him. Thump! Boom! Some of the puppets in front of Lu Ming were knocked away by the giant wolf puppet. Gakudo Path Attack. While he was still in mid-air, Lu Ming launched a Gakudo attack. He turned into a ray of light and broke through everything. Several martial king realm puppets in front of him exploded. Lu Ming stepped on the ground. He stomped on the ground and runes appeared on the ground. Clang! 2 swords appeared in the air, and with a single slash, the puppets were cut in half. How could this be? He could control a 4th-rank divine puppet and even inscribe a great formation? How can his spiritual power be so strong? The old man was shocked. Thump! Thump! The giant wolf puppet knocked aside a bunch of cheetah puppets and appeared beside Lu Ming. Lu Ming's footsteps became faster and faster. Runes kept flashing on the ground and all kinds of attacks were launched in all directions. Use the inscription scrolls and blast him. The young man roared, giving orders from the side. Many people took out inscription scrolls and opened them. All kinds of violent attacks poured down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a few steps forward and layers of light screens were formed. However, with a shake, these light screens shattered one after another. After all, the inscription formation was an instantaneous one and its power was limited. It couldn't block the attack of some powerful inscription scrolls. Now! All of a sudden, Lu Ming's eyes gleamed. He stomped his foot and a dazzling spear's gleam shot towards the young man. Some of the puppets in front of the young man and the people on them were either shattered or sent flying. At that moment, Lu Ming mounted the giant wolf puppet and charged towards the young man. His target was this young man. This young man seemed to have a high status. As long as he could take down this young man, he would have a chance to escape. Not good. The old man's expression changed drastically. He wanted to help, but it was too late. The young man's expression changed drastically as well. He retreated quickly and controlled the puppet under him to charge at Lu Ming. At the same time, an inscription talisman appeared in his hand. Bang! The youth's puppet had the strength of the 1st level of the spiritual ocean tier, but the giant wolf puppet sent it flying with a single slap, almost exploding. 9 dragons trampling the heavens. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared beside the young man in an instant. Before the young man could open the inscription talisman scroll, he grabbed the young man's throat with his claw. Around him, the movements of the others came to a sudden stop, stopping in the air. Brat, let me go, or I'll make you die without a burial ground. The young man roared and threatened Lu Ming. He felt very aggrieved. At this time, he was in the air and Lu Ming had grabbed his vital parts. He had a body full of inscription Dao, but he could not use it. Your life is in my hands, and you still dare to threaten me? I only need to use a little force now and you'll be dead. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes and a cold killing intent emanated from his body. The young man felt a chill run down his spine as if he was about to face death in the next moment. His heart trembled, and he didn't dare to say anything more. The giant wolf puppet flew over. Lu Ming carried the young man and stepped onto the back of the giant wolf puppet. If you let me go, I'll naturally let him go. Lu Ming scanned his surroundings. All right, we'll let you go. Let's go, the elder said without hesitation. The crowd parted to create a path for Lu Ming to fly through. Now, quickly release Qi Feng. The old man said. Qi Feng was this young man. What's the hurry? I'll let him go after I've flown some distance. Lu Ming controlled the giant wolf puppet and flew forward. After flying for 100 miles, Lu Ming threw the scarlet peak out and continued flying. Damn it! Qi Feng growled as he looked at Lu Ming's departing figure. His eyes were filled with hatred. Lu Ming flew all the way and very soon, he had covered a distance of 10,000 miles. Along the way, he did not encounter any underground humans. 10,000 miles ahead, 2 crimson cheetah puppets were flying in the air. The 2 cheetah puppets were both equivalent to the spiritual ocean tier, and were both at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier. On one of the cheetah puppets was a young woman in her 20s. She had a curvaceous figure, and some of her important parts were wrapped in animal skin, while the rest of her skin was exposed. Her skin was bronze in color, and although she wasn't extremely beautiful, she was full of wildness and had a different kind of beauty. On the other cheetah puppet, there was an old man. Miss, it's too dangerous for you to come out alone like this. Let's go back. The old man said. Elder Chi Su, it's fine. Don't worry. Just now, there was news from Xiaofan that there was a young man from the outer realm who was extremely proficient in the Tao of Inscription. It's really interesting. Perhaps he is the legendary destined person. I must find him. The young woman's eyes flickered as if she was very curious. Young miss, according to the news, that person's battle prowess is extremely powerful, and he's also controlling a 4th-level divine-level puppet. If we encounter him, we'll most likely be in danger. It's better for us to return to the group. Elder Redbeard continued to persuade. Don't worry, I won't do anything to him. I just want to invite him back to our tribe. If I follow the main group, I'll scare him away. How can we talk? How can we persuade him to come back to our tribe with me? The young woman didn't listen at all, her eyes looking around. The old man sighed. He knew that he couldn't persuade this stubborn young lady, so he could only follow her closely. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the puppet and flew forward. Not long after, they had flown another 10,000 miles. What? At this moment, he noticed that 2 cheetah puppets had appeared in front of him. On the puppets, there was a young woman and an old man. The other party had obviously seen him as well. I found him, I found him. The young woman cheered and controlled the puppet to fly toward Lu Ming at top speed. Miss, be careful. The old man followed closely. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. He could sense that the 2 puppets were not simple. He immediately controlled the giant wolf puppet to change direction and fly away. Hey, brother, don't go. We don't have any bad intentions. Don't go. The young woman shouted and controlled the puppet to chase after Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not say a word and continued to fly forward. This brother, we really don't have any ill intentions. Please stop and have a chat with me. I just want to ask you to return to the tribe and help us with something. We will definitely treat you as an honored guest. The woman called out, chasing after him. In the blink of an eye, they had flown for tens of thousands of miles. Lu Ming had changed directions a few times, but the woman and the elder were still following closely behind. They were all puppets at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier, and their speed was about the same. That woman was like a dogskin plaster that he couldn't shake off. Lu Ming was speechless. He suddenly controlled the puppet to stop and turned to look at the woman and the old man. Testing the waters. The young woman and the old man were shocked and stopped as well. Just how long are you guys going to follow me? Lu Ming said coldly. Brother, what are you afraid of? We have no ill intentions. I hope you don't misunderstand. You're an outsider, right? Our tribe just wants to ask you for a favor. The young woman said. I'm not interested. Lu Ming turned around and was about to leave. Brother, all the tribes are looking for you. If you leave our red leopard tribe, you will have to go to other tribes. Some tribes are very evil. If you come to our red leopard tribe and help us, we will do our best to help you if you have any requests in the future. The young woman said. Lu Ming furrowed his brows, pondered, and smiled. What's your name? What's your status in the red leopard tribe? I'm Qiyu, I'm. The young woman was about to reveal her identity when the old man interrupted her. Miss, don't easily reveal your identity. The old man said in a deep voice. Elder Redbeard, don't worry. It'll be fine. I am the daughter of the Red Leopard tribe's chief. If you follow me back to the tribe, the Red Leopard tribe will definitely treat you as an honored guest. Qiyu smiled and continued. The Red Leopard tribe's chief's daughter. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. His eyes flashed as he looked at Qiyu and said, How can I believe you? How about this, you come with me to the mountain ahead. I have something to discuss with you. Lu Ming pointed to a mountain range in front of them. No, little brother, your request is too much. How can we trust you? Elder Redbeard shouted. Oh, if that's the case, then there's no room for discussion. Don't follow me. Lu Ming waved his hands and turned to leave. Wait, I'll go with you. Qiyu said. Miss, you can't. It's too dangerous for you to go alone. Elder Chi Su objected. Elder Redbeard, don't worry. I have no enmity with him. He won't benefit from killing me. Qiyu smiled and controlled the puppet to fly towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He did not expect Qiyu to dare to follow him. Lu Ming controlled the giant wolf puppet and flew towards the mountain range with Qi Yu in the front and behind. Elder Redbeard could only stand there anxiously. 100 miles away, the two of them landed in the mountain range. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he destroyed all the surveillance runes nearby. I heard that your inscriptions are profound, and it seems like it's true. Qi Yu looked at Lu Ming, her eyes bright. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Qi Yu with a smile on his face. The next moment, his figure turned into a flash of lightning and he suddenly rushed toward Qi Yu. At the same time, the giant wolf puppet let out a low growl and also charged at Qi Yu. Qi Yu was taken aback. She never expected Lu Ming to make a move so suddenly. She could only control the cheetah puppet to block while she retreated at top speed. She waved her hands continuously and inscribed runes. The two puppets collided into each other and fought fiercely. Lu Ming's figure stopped and he stomped on the ground. Runes appeared one after another and formed a combat sword, slashing at Qi Yu. Qi Yu's inscription was a huge red cheetah that pounced forward. Qi Yu's Tao of inscription was extremely profound and had reached rank 6. She was also a true inscription refiner and had probably lit several rank 6 spirit lamps. She was also very powerful. The two of them finished inscribing the array in an instant, but Lu Ming also had a powerful martial arts cultivation besides the Tao of inscription. Lu Ming pointed his finger and a dazzling spear ray pierced forward, aiming at Qi Yu's throat. Qi Yu was shocked and retreated again. However, as he retreated, the inscription was interrupted. Lu Ming took a step forward and his figure suddenly appeared in front of Qi Yu. Their actions seemed rather intimate. Brother, don't misunderstand. I really don't have any ill intentions. Qi Yu called out. She blushed slightly when she felt Lu Ming's scorching aura behind her. I know you don't have any ill intentions. Otherwise, you would have been dead by now. Lu Ming whispered in Qi Yu's ear. His hot breath blew on Qi Yu's neck, making her feel a little strange. Indeed, Lu Ming had suddenly attacked Qi Yu, but he did not sense any killing intent from her. If Qi Yu had any killing intent towards him, she would definitely have revealed it in that situation. What you said just now, is it true? If I go to your tribe with you, you won't take away my personal freedom, right? Lu Ming asked. No, definitely not. Our elders have already passed down the message that we will try to bring you back without any conflict, not by force. After all, we need your help this time. Qi Yu said. Is it because of the person with the heavenly mandate? Lu Ming asked. So you already know. That's right, it's because of this. Qi Yu nodded. Then you'll be going to the Holy Mountain in a month. Yes, at that time, all the tribes will send people to worship the ancestors. This time, maybe one of you can awaken the ancient ancestor. Qi Yu said. All right, I'll follow you to the Red Leopard tribe. Lu Ming released his hand and took a few steps back. Lu Ming had called Qi Yu over to test the waters. If what she said was true, there was no harm in going to the Red Leopard tribe with her. After all, if he wanted to go to the Holy Mountain alone, he would have to pass by many tribes along the way. It was too difficult. At that time, it would definitely be much easier to go with the Red Leopard tribe. Really? That's great. Qi Yu laughed happily. She then looked at Lu Ming curiously and asked, Your Tao of inscriptions is so powerful. Although you're only at the peak of heaven grade, you can easily control divine grade puppets and inscribe great inscription formations at the same time. I've never seen an inscriber as powerful as you. Heaven grade? God level? Lu Ming was stunned. He had heard others talk about it before. Could it be that the division of realms in the underground world was different from theirs? Lu Ming finally understood after Qi Shuai explained. It turned out that the division of the Tao of inscription in this world was different from that of the outside world. They were divided into primary, yellow, black, earth, heaven, and God level. God level was the highest. The divine level corresponds to a rank 6 inscriber, but the divine level is the highest here. Could it be that the highest inscriber in the underground world can only reach rank 6? Lu Ming was very curious. Deity level is the highest level. For thousands of years, no one has been able to break through to the deity level and reach a higher level. It's said that the ancient ancestor is definitely an existence that has surpassed the deity level, and by a lot. Qi Yu said with a look of yearning. The two of them flew onto their puppets and chatted as they returned to where they came from. When Elder Qi Su saw that Qi Yu and Lu Ming had returned safely, he was naturally very excited. Elder Redbeard, this is Lu Ming. He's an impressive inscriber. Red Moon introduced. Sealing the canyon. Lu Ming and the red-bearded elder nodded at each other. Elder Redbeard, you should go back to the tribe and report the news. Brother Lu and I will come soon, Qi Yu said to Elder Qi Su. But young lady. Elder Qi Su was about to object, but when he saw Qi Yu's wide eyes, he knew that he couldn't persuade this stubborn young lady. He could only return to the tribe first. Lu Ming, during the short fight with you just now, I saw that you understood inscriptions and inscription arrays. You should be quite knowledgeable, right? Qi Yu suddenly asked, a hint of hope flashing in her eyes. It's all right, I guess. Lu Ming nodded. Kid, what do you mean by not bad? The inscriptions and formations that this lord has given you are almost all that this lord has taught you. Who else in this world has more inscriptions than this lord? Dandan immediately shouted in displeasure. A little turtle like you can actually talk? Red Moon was startled at first, then her eyes widened as she looked at Dandan curiously. Of course I can speak. If even you can speak, why can't I? You're so strange. Dandan pouted and looked at Red Moon in disdain. Red Moon's mouth directly opened into an O shape, and he looked at Dandan in a daze, his eyes shining. Lu Ming smiled wryly. During this period of time, Lu Ming had discovered that there were demonic beasts in this underground world. However, the demonic beasts had extremely low intelligence. Martial King Realm demonic beasts were slightly better than ordinary wild beasts. They could not speak at all. No wonder Qi Yu was so surprised. Red Moon's eyes widened as she looked at Dandan curiously. Beauty, are you convinced by this lord's spirit? Let me tell you, this lord is the head of the top 10 battle beasts, unrivaled in the world, revered in the universe and unrivaled. Dandan stood on Lu Ming's shoulder, her two front claws on the turtle shell, looking like an unparalleled master. But the next moment, Dandan collapsed. Red Moon reached out and grabbed Dandan's head, placing it in front of her eyes and carefully examining it. I'm so angry. Dandan's 4 short legs kicked and flew out of Qi Yu's hand, landing on Lu Ming's shoulder. Its eyes were wide open, and it wanted to eat Qi Yu. Qi Yu laughed heartily, very forthright. He then turned to Lu Ming. Lu Ming, if you know a lot of inscriptions and formations, you might be able to do our tribe a huge favor. By then, the elders of our tribe will definitely treat you like an ancestor. They'll definitely agree to any conditions you have. Oh, what's the matter? Lu Ming asked. This matter has to start from the current situation of our Red Leopard tribe. Qi Yu and Lu Ming began to talk. In the underground world, the battle between the tribes was endless. 60 years ago, the Red Leopard tribe was still an extremely powerful tribe. The tribe had many experts and was very powerful. They occupied large areas of rich land. At that time, the chief of the Red Leopard tribe was a renowned expert who had already reached the peak of the divine level, which was the peak of the 6th level. But later, the chiefs of the Heavenly Wolf tribe, the Een Snake tribe, and the Blood Tiger tribe joined forces to launch a sneak attack on the Red Leopard tribe's chief. In the end, the Red Leopard tribe's chief was severely injured and sealed in a canyon. The Red Leopard tribe's chief died in that canyon. Not only that, but the Red Leopard tribe leader also carried the most exquisite inscription secret manual of the Red Leopard tribe, which was the foundation of the Red Leopard tribe. Without the inscription secret manual, the follow-up power of the Red Leopard tribe became weaker and weaker. In the past 60 years, the territory occupied by the Red Leopard tribe was less than 20% of what it was in the past. If it were not for the support of some elders, it was estimated that the Red Leopard tribe would have been exterminated by the 3 major tribes. As for the seal on the canyon, it was set up by the 3 tribe leaders. It was extremely complicated, and the inscription formation was unique to the 3 tribes. Unless the 3 tribe leaders worked together to break it, the Red Leopard tribe would not be able to break it. Therefore, when Qi Yu saw that Lu Ming knew so many inscriptions and formations, she wanted him to give it a try. If Lu Ming could break the seal and take out the secret inscription refining manual of the Red Leopard tribe, then wouldn't the elders of the Red Leopard tribe treat Lu Ming like their ancestor? All right, let's go and take a look. Lu Ming nodded. If he wanted to be valued by the other party and if he could give the other party a little favor, it would be the best. All right. Qi Yu was overjoyed. She brought Lu Ming to the place where the previous tribe leader of the Red Leopard tribe was sealed. According to Qi Yu, that place was very close to the Red Leopard tribe city, only 100 li away. It was a huge mountain range. There were huge mountain peaks that pierced the sky. They were steep and majestic. There were 2 huge mountain peaks in between, forming a canyon about 10 meters wide in the middle. This canyon was the place where the Red Leopard tribe's previous chief was sealed. There were experts from the Red Leopard tribe guarding this place. As soon as Lu Ming and Qi Yu arrived at the entrance of the valley, they saw dozens of figures guarding the entrance. Qi Yu, huh? It's you? How dare you? Men, kill this person for me. They had just reached the entrance of the valley when they heard a loud shout. What are you guys doing? Stop. Qi Yu shouted, and the others, who were about to make a move, stopped. The corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled into a cold smile. The one who called for a fight was a young man. It was Qi Feng, who he had previously held hostage. Qi Feng's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Lu Ming, then at Qi Yu. Qi Yu, why are you protecting him? This person has killed many of our Red Leopard tribe's people. He should be executed on the spot for his crime. Qi Feng, the clan elders have said long ago that we should be polite to the people from the outer realm. We should invite them instead of fighting. You were the one who started it first, so Lu Ming naturally resisted. You can't blame him for this. To cut off the only chance for the Red Leopard tribe to rise? Qi Yu was very strong, staring at Qi Feng and loudly questioning. Qi Yu, I didn't mean that. Qi Feng's voice lowered. All right, Feng, since the other party has come to the Red Leopard tribe, he is a guest of the Red Leopard tribe. You don't have to say anything more. On the side, a long-bearded man in his 50s walked over and said, Sixth uncle. Qi Yu called out and sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming at the same time. This person was Qi Feng's father, her 6th uncle, and also the person in charge of guarding this canyon, Pure Gold Mountain. Why did you bring this little brother here? This is the tribe's forbidden area. Qi Jinshan said. 6th uncle, Lu Ming comes from the outer world and is an extremely talented inscriber. He has mastered many inscriptions and formations that our Red Leopard tribe does not have. He might be able to break the seal here and take out the secret inscription manual inside. So, I brought him here to give it a try. Qi Yu said. Hearing this, Pure Gold Mountain's face sank. This place is the Red Leopard tribe's forbidden area. How can we allow an outsider to break in? This is simply nonsense. All right, you should all leave quickly. Pure Gold Mountain waved his hand. 6th uncle, taking out the Red Leopard tribe's secret inscription refining manual concerns the rise and fall of the Red Leopard tribe. It's of great importance. Maybe he can really crack it? Qi Yu didn't give in. Deliberately making things difficult for her. Pure Gold Mountain's expression turned even gloomier. What a joke. The Red Leopard tribe has been sealed here for 60 years. Even with the help of many divine-level alchemists, we still can't break the seal. He's just a young boy, a heaven-level alchemist. How can he break the seal here? It's impossible. You guys should leave quickly. Otherwise, I'll take it as him trespassing the forbidden area and suppress him. 6th uncle, Lu Ming has not even tried. How do you know that he won't be able to do it? Given the current situation of our tribe, shouldn't we seize every opportunity? Red Moon argued. Impudent, what does a junior know? Hurry up and leave. Chiding the Pure Gold Mountain. I think this seal can be broken. Suddenly, Lu Ming's voice was heard and the scene fell silent. Everyone's eyes were on Lu Ming. Really? Qi Yu's eyes revealed a look of ecstasy. Of course. Lu Ming nodded. You're talking big, kid. What are you up to? You want to destroy my Red Leopard tribe's forbidden ground? I suspect that you are using some kind of evil technique to control Red Moon. You are simply up to no good. Men, kill this brat for me. The Pure Gold Mountain's expression was extremely gloomy, and his killing intent exploded as he shouted. Yes. The people guarding the entrance of the valley all waved their hands, and several cheetah puppets appeared on the ground. They were all spiritual ocean tier puppets. The puppet roared and was about to pounce on Lu Ming. Who dares? Qiyu shouted and stood in front of Lu Ming. At the same time, she summoned her cheetah puppet. Miss Qiyu has already been controlled by this evil person. She can't help herself. Quickly attack. Kill that brat and save Miss. The pure gold mountain roared. Kill that brat. Qi Feng also roared, his killing intent exploding. Lu Ming's face darkened. With a wave of his hand, the giant wolf puppet appeared and blocked in front of him. He stomped on the ground and waved his hands. Runes appeared on the ground. A great battle was about to start. Stop! What are you doing? At this moment, a loud roar sounded, and a white-haired elder flew over on a cheetah puppet. Second uncle! Qiyu was overjoyed. What's going on? The white-haired elder arrived and scanned the scene. His face was dark. What's going on? Second brother, that brat has controlled you, and has ulterior motives. I'm about to kill him. Pure Gold Mountain hurriedly said. Nonsense. Second uncle, Lu Ming is an inscription master from beyond the ground. He can break the seal of the canyon. That's why I brought him here. I didn't expect sixth uncle to want to kill Lu Ming. Qiyu argued. What? He can break the seal of the valley? The white-haired elder was shocked, and his eyes shone brightly. A layer of blue mental energy fire spread out from the top of his head due to his excitement, and his vast mental energy filled the entire area. You, don't be fooled by this man. He's just a heaven-grade alchemist and he's so young. How many inscriptions can he master? How can he break this seal? He's simply talking nonsense. Pure Gold Mountain said coldly. Second uncle, why don't you let Lu Ming try? What if it works? This is related to the rise and fall of our clan, so please consider it, second uncle. Qiyu shouted. Qiyu's second uncle was called Qi Jintian. He looked at Lu Ming with a hint of hope in his eyes. Little brother, can you really break the seal here? Lu Ming nodded and said, I've observed it just now. There are 3 different inscriptions in it. The inscriptions are intertwined and there should be more than 100 inscriptions. Although it's mysterious, it has been 60 years. It's not difficult to break it. Lu Ming's words caused Qiyu and Qi Jintian's eyes to light up, while Qi Jintian's face grew even gloomier. This matter is of great importance. I need to inform the clan leader and the elders. Qi Jintian took out a jade voice transmission talisman and sent a few messages. Then he started to wait. The Pure Gold Mountain knew that he couldn't stop them, so he walked to the side with a gloomy face. Lu Ming glanced at the Pure Gold Mountain, his eyes flickering. This Pure Gold Mountain was very strange. It wanted to stop him from breaking the seal no matter what. Open your dog eyes wide. Qi Jin Kong, the 7 clan elders, Qi Jin Tian, and the others all turned to look at Lu Ming. Lu Ming shook his head in his heart. He had helped the Red Leopard tribe, but the Pure Gold Mountain had repeatedly stopped him. With his personality, he would have turned around and left long ago. The reason why he stayed was firstly because of Red Moon. Secondly, if he turned around and left now, he would definitely not be valued by the Red Leopard tribe. He wanted to use the Red Leopard tribe's power to find out where Xian Yanqing was. Since you want to see it, open your eyes wide and watch. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the Pure Gold Mountain. Buzz! At the same time, a scarlet ring appeared above Lu Ming's head. There were 10 points on the ring that were as dazzling as the stars. 10 mind lamps. He lit up 10 mind lamps in the first stage. Qi Jin Kong, the 7 elders, and the others were all shocked. Some of the elders even shouted. The Pure Gold Mountain's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Its mouth was so wide that it could swallow a dead rat. It looked at Lu Ming in a daze. In the first stage, Lu Ming could actually light 10 mental lamps and enter the perfect stage. Haha, I told you. Lu Ming's talent is the best in the extraterrestrial world. After Qi Yu's initial shock, he laughed out loud. Humph. It's only the first stage. Maybe he's just lucky and obtained a powerful fire seed that allowed him to light up the 10 lamps in the first stage. It's not like there haven't been such cases in history, but the later stages, the harder it is to light up the lamps. I'll see how many lamps he can light in the later stages. Pure Gold Mountain said with a dark expression. Father is right. Xiaofan chimed in from the side. Oh, really? Then open your dog eyes wide and take a good look. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Then, a light flashed again above his head. This time, 2 rings appeared in succession, one orange and one yellow. The 2 rings were the same as the first one. They both had 10 bright spots that were dazzling and mesmerizing. Everyone was stunned. Their eyes widened in shock. The first 3 stages were all perfect, and he lit up 10 spirit lamps each. This was too shocking. Pure Gold Mountain's face was flushed red, while Xiaofan was dumbstruck. Didn't they want to see it? Then, he would let him take a good look at Lu Ming. Continue watching. The sneer on Lu Ming's face grew wider. The next moment, 2 rings appeared above his head. There were 2 rings, one green and one cyan, and each had 10 bright spots. The 5 rings were stacked on top of each other, and the 50 bright spots almost blinded the Pure Gold Mountain's eyes. Perfect. All perfect. All 5 stages are perfect. Oh my God, what did I just see? Miracle. Genius. He's the strongest genius I've ever seen. You is right. He's the #1 genius in the outer realm. A few clan elders who were hundreds of years old could no longer control their emotions. They shouted one after another, their faces and ears red with excitement. Chi Yu's small mouth opened into an O shape as she stood there in a daze. After a while, her eyes were filled with a strange light. As for the Pure Gold Mountain and the Pure Peak, they looked as if they had seen a ghost. They looked at Lu Ming, unable to say a single word, their lips trembling non-stop. 5 stages and 10 spirit lamps were lit. This was simply a legend. They had never heard of such a genius in their world. In fact, there was a rumor in this world that 9 was the limit and there was no way to be perfect. In other words, lighting up 9 spirit lamps was the limit. Perfection was only a legend after all. It was an expected realm, but now, it had actually appeared in a young man in his 20s. My current spiritual power should be enough, right? Lu Ming's gaze continued to fall on Pure Gold Mountain. The Pure Gold Mountain's expression changed, becoming extremely unsightly. He didn't say a single word. He couldn't open his mouth. Good. Brother Lu is indeed the #1 genius in outer space. I believe that Brother Lu will be able to break the seal. Qi Jin Kong laughed, his eyes filled with excitement. That's right. Little brother, please come forward and check those inscription arrays and see how you can crack them. A white-haired clan elder said in an extremely excited manner. Other than Qi Jin Kong and Xiaofan, everyone looked at Lu Ming with anticipation. Perhaps, Lu Ming could really do it. All right. Lu Ming nodded and walked forward. He came to the place full of runes and looked at it carefully. Dandan, can you really crack it? Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Dandan. The seal here was made up of 3 completely different formations. There were more than 100 of them. The 3 different formations were linked and intertwined with each other. Furthermore, they were all extremely profound level 6 inscription formations. The patriarchs of the Sirius, Een Snake, and Blood Tiger tribes who had set up the formation were all peak level 6 inscriptionists. To be honest, with Lu Ming's current attainment in the Tao of inscriptions, it was still very difficult for him to crack it. The reason why he agreed was because Dandan had told him that it could break it. Nonsense. Don't you know what kind of existence I am? The head of the top 10 war beasts. I have lived for countless years. I understand astronomy at the top and yin and yang at the bottom. How can a mere level 6 inscription array be difficult for me? Dandan began to boast again. Of course, she did it through voice transmission, so no one else could hear her. Lu Ming was already used to it. He directly ignored the part where Dandan boasted and said, "Oh, how can we break it? Kid, listen up. We'll start with the 18 flame inscriptions, then the 7 explosion inscriptions." Dandan began to give pointers. Between Lu Ming's fingers, a green flame spread out and he began to inscribe in the air. Runes appeared one after another and flew into the ground at the entrance of the canyon in different directions. Everyone from the Red Leopard tribe stared with wide eyes. Ow! Suddenly, a wolf's howl could be heard. An array glowed and condensed into a giant wolf, which pounced at Lu Ming. Everyone's heart tightened, and the pure gold mountain's eyes brightened. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm as he allowed the giant wolf to pounce on him. When the giant wolf pounced in front of Lu Ming, it exploded with a bang, turned into spots of light and dissipated. The first formation was broken. The first formation is broken. It's really broken. Qi Jinkong and the 7 clan elders were all ecstatic. Father, elder, look. I'm right. Lu Ming can definitely do it. Qi Yu said with a smile. Yes, but this seal is made up of 136 formations. The deeper you go, the harder it is to break. We'll have to see what happens later. Qi Jinkong said. At the same time, Lu Ming continued to inscribe runes. One after another, runes flew to the ground. After a while, a roar was heard and a blood-red giant tiger pounced out and then dissipated. The second formation was broken. Following that, Lu Ming's fingers did not stop. He continued to inscribe runes in the air. One after another, the major arrays were cracked by Lu Ming. Lu Ming broke through 18 large arrays in a row at a crushing speed. He took less than half an hour, cracking it one after another. Qi Jinkong and the others were getting more and more excited and expectant. Perhaps it would really work this time. May the heavens bless us, may the ancestors bless us. They prayed in their hearts. Perhaps the ancient ancestor didn't want their red leopard tribe to be exterminated, so he sent such a genius. The chosen one. At the same time, Qi Jinkong and a few other clan elders thought of this word and looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with excitement and anticipation. Who? At this moment, Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. He sat cross-legged on the ground and closed his eyes. After breaking 18 formations, his spiritual power was not enough. He needed to recover. We'll guard this place. No one is allowed to leave. Qi Jinkong ordered. Just in case, they personally guarded this place. And at this moment, Pure Gold Mountain's expression became even gloomier, and his eyes flickered with a strange light. Qi Feng looked at Lu Ming with jealousy and nothing else. 3 hours later, Lu Ming got up and continued to crack the code. However, from here on, the array became more complicated and the difficulty increased. Lu Ming's speed also slowed down. This time, Lu Ming spent more than an hour to crack 18 arrays. He then sat down cross-legged and began to recover. A few hours later, Lu Ming stood up again with a smile on his face. He realized that breaking the array in this way could purify his mental energy fire. It could also be trained. He felt that he was getting closer and closer to becoming a rank 6 alchemist. Lu Ming continued to crack the code. However, the further he went, the slower his speed became. On the first day, Lu Ming deciphered a total of 50 inscription formations. On the second day, he deciphered a total of 30 inscription formations. On the third day, he deciphered a total of 20 inscription formations. There were a total of 136 of them, and now, only 36 remained. However, Lu Ming stopped when he reached the last 36. After pondering for a moment, he walked towards Qi Jinkong. Tribe leader Qi, the next 36 inscription formations will be based on the Een Snake tribe's formation. They are extremely vicious and unstable. If you are not careful, they will explode and destroy the valley. Lu Ming said. Qi Jinkong's expression changed and he said anxiously, then what do we do? That's easy. Lu Ming needs a favor from clan leader Qi. Lu Ming said. Brother Lu, please speak. Even if we have to mobilize the entire Red Leopard tribe, it won't be a problem. Qi Jinkong's tone was firm. It's not that serious. I just need some materials. I have a material here called red blood sand. I need the clan leader to send someone to refine it. A jade card appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It contained the refining method of the crimson blood sand and the required materials. He handed it to Qi Jinkong. No problem, but I'm afraid it'll take 6 or 7 days to make it. Qi Jinkong looked at it and said. It's fine. Tribe leader Qi, where are the places where venomous snakes gather? I'm going to hunt some myself and take their blood essence to refine another material. Only by combining these two materials can we break the last 36 formations. Lu Ming said. A place where venomous snakes gather? To the west of the Red Leopard tribe, there is a 10,000 snakes valley. There are a large number of poisonous snakes there, but it is already in the territory of the Een snake tribe. Qi Jinkong said. It's fine. I just need to sneak over and kill some poisonous snakes. Lu Ming smiled faintly. That's good. Little brother Lu has been working hard these few days. A few days is not a big deal for you to break the formation. Go to the Red Leopard tribe and rest for a while before preparing the materials. Although the pure gold space was anxious and excited, it was polite to Lu Ming. Lu Ming was the hope of the Red Leopard tribe. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Qi Jinkong left behind a few clan elders to guard the place while he and the remaining clan elders brought Lu Ming and Qi Yu to the Red Leopard tribe. Lu Ming, you haven't been to our tribe before, have you? I'll take you around. What is it like in the outer world? Your skin is so white and smooth. Also, the clothes you're wearing are so strange. Along the way, Qi Yu followed Lu Ming and chattered on, asking a lot of questions. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He could not help but think of a young girl, Xian Xian. At that time, Xian Xian was also very curious and kept asking questions. Lu Ming casually explained and they arrived at the ancient city very soon. This was a stone city, and the buildings inside were all made of stone. The stone city was bustling with people. It was completely different from the cities that Lu Ming had seen in the past. It was filled with an exotic atmosphere. When they arrived, Lu Ming suddenly had an idea. He asked, Tribe leader Qi, during this period of time, have there been any other people like me who have come from beyond the earth? Yes, there are about 100 of them. They are all living in the West Hall. We did not restrict their movements. Qi Jinkong explained. Can you take me to see it? Lu Ming said. He wanted to see if there were any acquaintances. Perhaps Xian Yanqing was here too. Of course, I'll go back and order people to prepare the red blood sand. Third uncle, you two take little brother Lu and go to the West Hall to take a look. Qi Jinkong ordered. Yes, father. Qi Yu said with a smile. There was also a white-haired elder who brought Lu Ming to the west side of the hall. Along the way, many people sized Lu Ming up curiously. During this period of time, many people from the outside world had come and spread the news. They were all very curious. On the west side, there is a huge stone palace. Inside there are many stone houses. During this period of time, over 100 people have been living here. They all came from the outer world, the chaotic astral ocean. Zhong Yuan had been in a bad mood recently. He was the sect leader of the blood poison sect. He had thought that by obtaining the key to the martial emperor's treasure, he would be able to obtain a supreme opportunity, allowing the blood poison sect to soar, and he would be able to break through all barriers and reach the supreme realm. However, he did not expect that all his plans would be ruined by Lu Ming, causing countless people to rush into the martial emperor's treasure. Not only that, after entering the martial emperor's treasure, he didn't obtain anything. Instead, he was being hunted down everywhere. In the end, he had no choice but to follow the people of the Red Leopard tribe to the Red Leopard tribe. At this time, he was drinking and chatting with two experts at the third level of the spiritual ocean tier in the courtyard. Brother Zhong, I'm guessing that the Saint Mountain in the underground world is most likely related to the martial emperor's treasure. We must join forces this time. An elder at the third level of the spiritual ocean tier said. That's right. I'm guessing that there's a way out of the holy mountain. We'll be able to leave this damn place. The other third-level spiritual ocean tier martial artist also opened his mouth to speak. I hope so. Zhong Yuan drank a cup of wine. His eyes flickered as he thought about something. Squeak. At this moment, the door opened and Lu Ming and the rest walked in. The people in the courtyard also looked at the gate. With one look, Zhong Yuan's eyes were filled with cold killing intent and he said in a cold voice, Little bastard, it's you? Zhong Yuan in despair. Lu Ming heard the sound and looked in the direction of the sound. His eyes were filled with a strong murderous intent. The blood poison sect master. A cold voice came out of Lu Ming's mouth. The white-haired elder in front of him was the blood poison sect master. He was the one who had injured him and tried to steal his jade sword. He didn't expect to meet him here. Ha ha ha, little bastard. I said before that I would kill you if I met you. You're really unlucky to have met me here. I'll see how you die this time. Zhong Yuan laughed and stood up from the table, exuding a terrifying aura. A martial artist at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm was too powerful. He was a whole lot stronger than a martial artist at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean realm. His aura was like a vast ocean, suppressing Lu Ming. Thump, thump. Zhong Yuan stepped forward, causing the ground to rumble. What do you want to do? Qi Yu stepped forward and stood in front of Lu Ming. Her face turned cold and she glared at Zhong Yuan. So it's Miss Qi Yu. Miss Qi Yu, please move aside. This person has a grudge with me. I must kill him. Zhong Yuan said coldly. No, this is the Red Leopard tribe. You are not allowed to fight. Qi Yu said coldly. Miss Qi Yu, you'd better step aside. This time, I've promised you that I'll go to the Holy Mountain to participate in the assessment. However, if I don't kill this person, don't blame me for not doing my best during the assessment. Zhong Yuan sneered. Anyone could tell that this was a threat. Among the 100-odd people who came to the Red Leopard tribe this time, Zhong Yuan's cultivation was the strongest. He had reached the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm and was the most promising candidate among all the candidates in the Red Leopard tribe. These few days, the people of the Red Leopard tribe had been very polite to him. They had treated him as a distinguished guest, so he naturally had the confidence. I want him dead. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke. Upon hearing Lu Ming's words, Zhong Yuan was stunned for a moment before he burst out laughing. The other 2 elders at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier also laughed. Haha, this brat is a peak tier king tier. Has he gone mad? He actually wants Brother Zhong to die? Where does he get his confidence from? Could he have said this to Miss Qi Yu and the others? That's even more ridiculous. Does he think I'm more important than Brother Zhong? The young man can't recognize himself. How pitiful and lamentable. The 2 elders at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier laughed out loud, their voices filled with mockery. But the next moment, their smiles came to an abrupt end. It was because Qi Yu looked at Lu Ming and said, Are you serious? Yes. I must kill him. Lu Ming was resolute and decisive. All right, if little brother Lu wants to kill him, I'll do it. Let's go. The Red Leopard clan elder said from the side. With a wave of his hand, a huge leopard puppet appeared, emitting a terrifying aura. 7th level spiritual ocean tier. This cheetah had an aura equivalent to the 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and the strength of that aura made people's hearts palpitate and make them despair. Zhong Yuan was dumbfounded. He looked at the Red Leopard clan elder with a pale face and screamed, What are you guys doing? This kid is only a martial king. I'm countless times stronger than him. Only I have a chance in the Holy Mountains assessment. You should kill him, kill him. Little brother Lu is our Red Leopard tribe's benefactor. What did he say? The Red Leopard tribe will do our best to satisfy him. Whoever he says he will kill, he will kill. Now die. The Red Leopard clan elder shouted coldly. The cheetah puppet let out a long roar and pounced towards Zhong Yuan at an unbelievable speed. No, how could this be? I'm not convinced. Zhong Yuan roared hysterically as he tried his best to resist. But the difference between a puppet at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm and a puppet at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm was too great. The cheetah puppet's claw tore through all of Zhong Yuan's defenses and attacks before tearing his body into 2. The sect master of the blood poison sect, an almighty expert at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm, an expert whose name shook the chaotic astral ocean, had died just like that. He died in an extremely aggrieved manner. He didn't even know why he died. Why did the Red Leopard tribe listen to Lu Ming? The 2 3rd-level spiritual ocean realm old men looked at this scene with their mouths agape, and they almost bit off their own tongues. Then, the 2 of them looked at Lu Ming while trembling. Their backs were drenched in cold sweat. The Red Leopard tribe actually listened to Lu Ming. With just one word from Lu Ming, an elder of the Red Leopard tribe made a move and killed Zhong Yuan in one move. What was going on? They had all lived for more than 1,000 years, but now they found that their brains were completely unable to understand. Lu Ming strode forward and reached out to grab Zhong Yuan's storage ring. He also devoured Zhong Yuan's blood essence. Then, he looked at the 2 Sea of Soul Realm old men and said in a cold voice, "You've lived for thousands of years, but you can't even understand the situation. How pitiful and lamentable." The 2 old men's faces were completely red, and they were too ashamed to show their faces. These were the words that they had given to Lu Ming just now. However, it had only been a short while and Lu Ming had returned the words to them in full. Every word of his was like a slap to their faces. Lu Ming ignored them. With Qi Yu leading the way, he checked the place. Unfortunately, Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu were not here. "Miss Qi Yu, I need a room to cultivate in seclusion," Lu Ming said. Zhong Yuan was at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and the power of his blood essence was too strong. He needed to go into seclusion to refine it. "No problem." Qi Yu brought Lu Ming to the core area of the Red Leopard tribe and arranged a room for him. Lu Ming entered the room and entered the supreme shrine. He began to refine the blood essence. He had used all his blood essence to improve the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel. The stronger the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel, the stronger the power of the prison-suppressing heavenly technique. The 9th Esilavira chakra became brighter and brighter. In the end, it was as bright as the other 9 chakra. The peak of the 9th level of the king realm. However, it was too difficult for a peak 9th level king to attain divine level bloodline. After Lu Ming refined all of Zhong Yuan's blood essence, he had a feeling that he was still a long way from attaining divine level. He did not know how much more blood essence he would have to consume before he could advance to the divine level. Half a day had passed. Lu Ming walked out of the room. "Lu Ming, you're done with your seclusion." The moment Lu Ming came out, he saw Qi Yu. "You've been waiting for me?" Lu Ming nodded. "Not really, I just got here. Do you want to walk around?" Qi Yu said. "No, I'll go to 10,000 Snakes Valley to hunt for poisonous snakes." "How do I get there?" Lu Ming shook his head and said. "I'll take you there. That's the Een Snake Tribe's territory. If we bring too many people, we'll attract their attention. How about just the 2 of us go?" Qi Yu said. "All right." Lu Ming nodded. The 2 of them left the Stone City and headed west. The 10,000 Snake Valley was 30,000 miles west of the Red Leopard tribe. It was the Een Snake Tribe's territory. It was said that this place used to belong to the Red Leopard tribe a few decades ago. Later on, the Red Leopard tribe lost a large piece of land, and the 10,000 Snakes Valley area fell into the hands of the Een Snake tribe. Riding on the puppet, the 2 of them arrived in less than half a day. This was also underground. If it was outside the ground, Lu Ming would not need half a day to travel 30,000 miles. Now, she had a ring on her wrists and ankles. The ring was like a snake wrapped around her body, and it was engraved with complicated inscriptions. This ring had the power to seal the genuine qi in Xian Yanqing's body, and even the flame of inscription. She couldn't use her cultivation at all. Otherwise, she would have escaped from this place long ago. Squeak! The door of the room was opened, and a young man walked in. This young man was tall and handsome, but his eyes were long and narrow, giving off a very gloomy feeling. As soon as he walked in, the young man's eyes wandered all over Xian Yanqing's body. His eyes were burning with a strong desire to possess her. "What are you doing here again?" Xian Yanqing frowned. "Miss Xia, what do you think? I won't let you suffer if you marry me." The young man smiled slightly, which made him look even more sinister. "Get lost!" Xian Yanqing shouted coldly, not at all polite. The young man's face turned cold. "Miss Xia, don't forget where you are. I'm trying to persuade you nicely. Don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Get lost." Xian Yanqing's reply was still one word. "Good, good, very good, let's wait and see." The young man's eyes were burning with anger. He scanned Xian Yanqing's body a few times before he left. "This bitch, I want you to kneel down and beg me this morning." The young man's heart was burning with anger. What was his identity? The son of the Een Snake Tribe's chief, the future successor of the Een Snake Tribe, Een K, had great talent. What couldn't he get? However, a few days ago, when he saw Xian Yanqing, he was shocked. Xian Yanqing was too beautiful, completely different from the women in the underground world. Most of the underground women were rough, and their skin was bronze in color. Xian Yanqing, on the other hand, had jade-like skin and a graceful figure. He was immediately attracted to her. He caught Xian Yanqing and wanted him to be his 18th concubine. However, with Xian Yanqing's personality, the result was obvious. How could he agree? Yin Ke walked in the yard with a gloomy face. "Young master, what's wrong? That woman still hasn't agreed?" A skinny old man walked up and asked. "That's right. Not only did this bitch not agree, but she also told me to get lost. Elder Kue, what do you have in mind?" Yin Ke asked. "Young master, since the other party refused a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, then let's use force. Let's just cook the rice." The skinny old man sneered. "Elder Kue, I've thought about it as well, but even if her true yuan and mental energy fire are sealed, her physical strength is still very strong. I'm afraid that if I were to use force, she would commit suicide. Otherwise, I would have done it long ago." Yin Ke said. As soon as he thought of Xian Yanqing's graceful figure, an evil fire burned in his body. "Young master, it's easy. It's the season for poisonous snakes to breed. The snake desire flower is in full bloom in the 10,000 Snakes Valley. The fragrance of the snake desire flower has no effect on people with Zhan Yuan or mental energy fire. However, without the protection of Zhan Yuan and mental energy fire, the body will go soft and lose all strength. At that time, young Master Ren will be the one doing whatever you want." The skinny old man gave a sinister smile. Yin Ke's eyes brightened and he laughed out loud. "Elder Kue, you're really wise. Good, let's do it this way. Elder Kue, take a few people with you and use the excuse of going out to hunt to relax. Take that slut with you and follow me to 10,000 Snakes Valley. This time, I want to make that slut feel like she's going to die in the 10,000 snakes." "All right, I'll get it done." Elder Kue bowed. Not long after, Yin Ke, Xian Yanqing, Elder Kue, and 6 other people rode on 7 giant serpent puppets with wings and headed towards the 10,000 Snakes Valley. "Silly girl, you're here." Xian Yanqing didn't want to go at first, but the other party greeted her with a smile and said that it was just a hunting trip to relax. Xian Yanqing couldn't refuse. If she refused, she was afraid that the other party would force her. Not long after, they arrived at 10,000 Snakes Valley. The group of 9 people walked in. In the beginning, they were indeed hunting poisonous snakes to make some medicine. Soon, they were about 30 miles away. "You guys stay here and hunt for poisonous snakes. I'll take Miss Xian Yanqing to the front to take a look." Yin Ke ordered. "All right, young master, you can go." Elder Kue laughed, but there was a hint of gloominess in his smile. "Miss Xie, let's continue forward," Yin Ke said to Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing frowned. She had a bad feeling in her heart, but she had no choice but to agree. She made up her mind that if the other party had any ill intentions towards her, she would rather die than let them have their way. Xian Yanqing nodded and followed Yin Ke inside. Soon, the 2 of them traveled another 5 to 6 miles. Red flowers bloomed all over the place. These flowers were very strange. They were in the shape of snakes, just like small snakes. They also gave off an intoxicating fragrance that smelled very good. Along the way, Yin Ke didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Xian Yanqing also gradually relaxed and slowly strolled around. But slowly, Xian Yanqing felt that something was wrong. She felt her body becoming weaker and weaker. She was very smart. She suddenly thought of something. Her face turned pale. She ran forward a few steps and said, "Yin Ke, what did you do to me? You're using poison on me?" "Hee hee." Yin Ke saw that Xian Yanqing's body was indeed weak, and he laughed evilly. "I didn't poison you. However, this place is full of snade sire flower. The pollen of this flower is like poison to those who can't use their vital essence and spiritual fire. Anyone who smells it will feel weak all over." "Ha ha ha." Yin Ke laughed. "You. What are you trying to do?" Xian Yanqing kept retreating, feeling weaker and weaker. "Hee hee, what are you doing? Bitch, I don't care what your status is outside the earth, but you'd better behave yourself here. I want to marry you as a concubine because I think highly of you, but you've refused me time and time again, and you even dared to scold me. Now, I'll let you know the consequences of rejecting me." In Yin Kei's eyes, the fire was dancing. His eyes wandered all over Xian Yanqing's body, and the fire in his eyes became stronger and stronger. "Don't even think about it," Xian Yanqing shouted. Her spine suddenly glowed with a red light. Then, her body darted forward and ran into the depths of 10,000 Snakes Valley. "Damn it!" Yin Kei shouted angrily. He didn't expect that Xian Yanqing could still use such a strange power even though his vital essence and spirit fire were sealed. He was careless and Xian Yanqing ran hundreds of meters away. He immediately chased after her at top speed. In the end, Xian Yanqing's true essence and mental energy fire were sealed. Her body was special, so she could borrow some of the power of her bloodline. However, it was not much. Before she could run a mile, the power of her bloodline dissipated. She felt her body becoming weaker and weaker. She staggered and almost fell to the ground. Yin Kei caught up from behind. "Hee, let's see where you can run to. I'll serve you well later." After running for a while, Xian Yanqing's body was covered in sweat. His sweat soaked his clothes, causing them to stick tightly to his body. His curves were even more shocking. Yin Kei's evil fire exploded as he looked on. His entire body was hot and he couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Xian Yanqing's eyes revealed a trace of despair. He touched his waist and a short dagger appeared in his hand. He pressed it against his chest and looked at Yin Kei with determination. "If you want to use force, I'll die." Yin Kei's footsteps stopped and his face was dark. He said coldly, "I don't believe that you don't even want your life." Then, he strode forward. "Lu Ming, you fool, where are you? Perhaps, you and I will never meet again." Xian Yanqing closed his eyes and stabbed the dagger into his heart. In the depths of the 10,000 Snakes Valley, Lu Ming took out a jade bottle and kept a cloud of blood mist. He then frowned. He didn't know why, but he had been feeling uneasy since just now. He felt inexplicably irritable. This was somewhat unbelievable. At Lu Ming's current realm, his martial arts heart was stable. Most things would not make him feel agitated. But just now, he felt inexplicably irritable and uneasy, but he didn't know the reason. "Kid, what's wrong?" "Something's wrong with my condition." Dandan could tell Lu Ming's state. "I don't know why, but I've been inexplicably irritable since just now. I keep having this uneasy feeling." Lu Ming said. "Inexplicable restlessness?" The deeper a martial artist's cultivation base is, the more they'll be connected to the laws of the universe and their minds will be clear. Therefore, any emotion that appears won't be without reason. Something is definitely going to happen. Dandan said. Lu Ming nodded. In ancient times, there were powerful people who could even predict some fragments of the future. It was mysterious and unpredictable. "Wait a moment." Dandan closed her eyes and waved her pair of front claws, producing inscriptions. After a while, Dandan suddenly opened her eyes and said anxiously, "Not good, brat, your little lover is in danger." "What?" Lu Ming was stunned, but he immediately realized that Dandan was talking about Xian Yanqing. "Little Qing, what's wrong with her? Where is he?" Lu Ming asked anxiously. "It's just a few miles away. Hurry up or it'll be too late." Dandan shouted. "Buzz!" Without the slightest hesitation, Lu Ming exploded. His figure was like a bolt of lightning as he charged out of the snake dowager. Qi Yu's eyes flickered and inscriptions appeared on her body, forming a pair of wings. With a flap, she turned into a phantom and followed. The distance of several miles was covered in a few breaths' time under Lu Ming's full outburst. When Lu Ming arrived, he saw Xian Yanqing's dagger stabbing into his heart. Blood was flowing out and it was a ghastly sight. Boom! At this moment, it was as if thunder had exploded in Lu Ming's mind. He could roughly guess what was going on with just one look at this scene. "Little Qing!" Lu Ming roared and pounced on Xian Yanqing like a bolt of lightning. He used his essential core to wrap around Xian Yanqing's arm, stopping her dagger from continuing. However, Lu Ming was still a little too slow. Xian Yanqing's dagger had already pierced through his muscles. A part of it had already pierced into his heart. Fortunately, it was not deep. Lu Ming wrapped his arms around Xian Yanqing's waist. His essential core surged into Xian Yanqing's body and protected his heart. Silly girl, you're here. I thought I'd never see you again. Xian Yanqing blinked his big eyes and looked at Lu Ming in a daze. He did not even blink, afraid that all of this was a dream. Don't say anything, Lu Ming said as his vital essence continued to flow into Xian Yanqing's body. His combat dragon vital essence was very active and successfully sealed Xian Yanqing's heart meridian. At the same time, Xian Yanqing's wound was slowly healing. He rejoiced that he had arrived in time. If he had been a little later, perhaps it would have been an eternal farewell. Lu Ming's glabella glowed and there were traces of lightning swimming around. He was ready to control the lightning cauldron and launch a fatal attack. Ta! Lu Ming controlled the giant wolf puppet to block in front of him. At the same time, he stomped on the ground frantically. Yaya, watch me! Dandan landed on the ground and kept waving its claws. Ow! The giant wolf puppet was entangled by a giant snake. It kept howling and shooting sparks in all directions. That giant snake was Elder Kuei's puppet. It was too powerful. The giant wolf puppet let out a series of banging sounds and exploded continuously. In the end, the giant wolf puppet was completely destroyed, becoming a pile of scrap metal. Kill! Go! Lu Ming shouted. The inscription formation appeared and formed a large bow. An arrow shot towards Yin Ke like a shooting star. Watch me! Dandan waved her claws, and dense runes appeared. Countless vines appeared and wrapped around the 5 or 6 giant snake puppets, tightly binding them. Yin Ke's expression changed and he took out another inscription talisman scroll. After opening it, a combat sword flew out and clashed with Lu Ming's arrow. Kill! Let's use the inscription scroll together and kill that brat. Elder Kuei shouted coldly. An inscription talisman appeared in his hand, and so did the others. As soon as he opened it, all kinds of attacks were launched at Lu Ming. There were swords, sabers, ice, storms and so on. All of them were attacks that were equivalent to the spiritual ocean tier and above. Some of them were even at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier and above. They were too powerful and Lu Ming could not possibly block them. He would be turned into dust in an instant. Lu Ming! Xian Yanqing and Qi Yu both exclaimed. Die! Lu Ming's eyes were cold. His eyebrows suddenly glowed with a bright light. A large cauldron flew out, and lightning filled the air. The moment the cauldron flew out, Lu Ming's essential core was instantly sucked dry. Even his life essence was sucked away. Every time he used it, he would lose 50 years of his life. However, Lu Ming did not care. He had to kill Yin Ke today. The lightning cauldron rapidly grew in size as a fearsome might gushed forth from it. It was as if it could destroy the heavens and earth. At this moment, everyone felt the fear of facing the heavens. Retreat! Retreat! Elder Kuei's pupils contracted as he retreated in a frenzy. Not only him, but everyone else also retreated in a frenzy. At the same time, runic scrolls appeared, and a light screen enveloped their bodies. Especially Yin Ke, he opened all the inscription scrolls and at least 7 light screens covered his body. Boom! The lightning cauldron descended and suppressed everything. Boundless lightning power descended, destroying all life. Bang! Bang! Other than Elder Kuei and Yin Ke, the other 6 people died instantly under the lightning cauldron. Elder Kuei and Yin Ke were like leaves in the wind, constantly drifting. The light shield on Yin Ke's body was constantly being destroyed. His face was full of fear, and it was twisted into a ball. Boom! The lightning cauldron fell and quickly shrunk. It flew back to Lu Ming's glabella and disappeared. The 10,000 Snakes Valley was charred black. Whether it was the ancient trees, wild grass, or poisonous snakes, they were all charred black as if they had experienced a lightning tribulation. Elder Kuei and Yin Ke spat out large mouthfuls of blood. They lay on the ground like 2 dead fish, unable to move. The killing intent of the Yin snake tribe. Qi Yu was dumbfounded. He did not expect that Lu Ming would suddenly summon a large cauldron and kill 6 Yin snake tribe experts with a single strike. Moreover, He had severely injured Elder Kuei and Yin Kei. All of this made her feel like she was in a dream. Whew! Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief and collapsed to the ground. Now, there was not even a trace of true essence in his body. His face was pale, which was caused by his lifespan being extracted. Lu Ming, are you all right? Xian Yanqing gasped and walked over to support Lu Ming, his eyes filled with worry. Xian Yanqing's body was strong and his vitality was strong. Now, the wound on her chest was slowly healing and she was fine. Little Qing, help me over. I want to kill them. Lu Ming said. Xian Yanqing nodded and helped Lu Ming walk forward. At this moment, Elder Kuei and Yin Kei were lying on the ground like mud, half dead. In such a situation, they naturally couldn't control the puppets. Those giant snake puppets were all like statues, lying on the ground and not moving. Little brat, what do you want to do? I'm telling you, I'm the young master of the Yin snake tribe, and my father is the chief of the Yin snake tribe. If you dare to kill me, you'll die without a doubt. Yin Kei shouted. I said, you must die today, no matter who you are. It won't change the result. With Xian Yanqing's help, Lu Ming walked forward slowly. Above his head, a green spiritual fire spread out. His body was weak and he couldn't use his true essence, but he could still use his mental energy fire. Brat, I advise you to let us go. I've already sent a message back through a voice transmission talisman. If you kill us, you'll have to face the crazy revenge of the Yin snake tribe. At this moment, Elder Kuei sneered. He barely moved his body and a voice transmission jade talisman appeared in his hand. Haha, well done, Elder Kuei. Yin Kei laughed out loud. He then looked at Lu Ming and shouted, Brat, my father has already received the news that you're dead for sure. Now, if you cripple your own arms and legs and obediently give that slut to me to serve me, I might spare your lives. Little Qing, I can't move right now. I can't even inscribe inscriptions. I'll leave these two to you. Lu Ming said to Xian Yanqing as if he did not hear Elder Kuei and Yin Kei's words. All right. Xian Yanqing helped Lu Ming sit down. With a dagger in his hand, he walked toward Elder Kuei. Bitch, what do you want to do? Yin Kei roared. You dare. Elder Kuei roared. Xian Yanqing was unmoved and strode forward. Qi Yu came to Lu Ming's side, hesitating to speak. Puchi. Xian Yanqing walked in front of Elder Kuei and swung his dagger. Elder Kuei's head flew far away. Then he walked towards Yin Kei. No, don't come over. Yin Kei was terrified, his face full of fear. He did not expect that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing would dare to kill them after knowing that news of them had reached the Yin snake tribe. Where did they get the guts to do that? The Yin snake tribe was the most powerful tribe in the area. You should have expected this day to come. Xian Yanqing's eyes were filled with killing intent. With a flash of his dagger, Yin Kei's head fell to the ground. All the Yin snake tribesmen were dead. Lu Ming, we have to leave this place as soon as possible. The Yin snake tribe's experts might be here soon. Qi Yu said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Qi Yu put away all the giant snake puppets that were still in good condition. Then, she controlled the cheetah puppet to carry Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing and fly back to the red leopard tribe at top speed. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the cheetah puppet's back, constantly circulating the true war dragon technique and beginning to recover his essential core. The side effects of using the lightning cauldron were just too obvious. He would lose all his true essence and his body would be weak. Even if he still had his mental energy fire, he wouldn't be able to inscribe any inscriptions. It was like he was a chicken at the mercy of others. Furthermore, he now had a better understanding of the lightning cauldron's power. The stronger his cultivation was, the more powerful the lightning cauldron would be after absorbing the true essence. With his current cultivation, he should be able to pose a fatal threat to experts at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier. But he might not be able to kill them. Just now, there were 2 4th-level spiritual ocean tier inscription masters in the Yin snake tribe. The reason they were able to kill them in one blow was that those inscription masters had used their spiritual power to control the puppets, and the puppets were entangled by Dandan's formation and couldn't turn around to save them. They could only rely on the inscription scrolls to resist and their defense was naturally greatly reduced. That was why they were killed by Lu Ming in one move. Under normal circumstances, he would at most heavily injure a 4th-level spiritual ocean tier expert, but not kill him. As for those at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier, they would probably only suffer light injuries. Of course, if Lu Ming could enter the Sea of Souls realm, his thunder mentality and true essence would increase greatly. Then, the power of the lightning cauldron would also increase crazily. Aya, I'm so tired. I've accumulated so much energy, but it's all used up in one go. Kid, this time, you must compensate me well. Dandan lay on Lu Ming's shoulder, rolling her eyes continuously. A few hours after they had left, a strong gust of wind blew and a dozen experts arrived at 10,000 Snakes Valley, riding on giant snake puppets. The leader of the group was a middle-aged man with a poisonous snake wrapped around his neck. When they arrived, they quickly rushed into the depths of the 10,000 Snakes Valley. Not long after, an earth-shaking roar was heard. Kid from the outer world, Red Leopard Tribe, kill, kill, kill. His voice was full of killing intent. Even the snakes in 10,000 Snakes Valley trembled and shrank back into their caves. When Lu Ming and the rest returned to the Red Leopard Tribe, Lu Ming focused on recovering his cultivation. At this moment, Lu Ming had already recovered a stream of vital essence in his dantian. Then, he took out a large number of top-grade spirit crystals and devoured the energy in them to recover his cultivation. With a trace of essential core, Lu Ming's recovery speed had greatly increased. As soon as Qi Yu returned to the Red Leopard Tribe, she went to find Qi Jin Kong to report the situation. What? Lu Ming killed K? Qi Jin Kong's shocked voice came from a large hall. Yes, father. What should we do now? Qi Yu stood in front of Qi Jin Kong and said. Qi Jin Kong's face was solemn. He frowned and said, Bu Hai only has one son, and he has always doted on him. Now that K has been killed, I'm afraid he will go crazy and take revenge. Pass down the order to strengthen the defense of all places. Also, I will immediately inform the elders to come here for a meeting. The atmosphere in the Red Leopard Tribe became tense, but Lu Ming was still fully focused on recovering. Half a day after he returned to the Red Leopard Tribe, his true essence had finally recovered to its peak. Little Qing, let me remove the seal on your hands and feet. Lu Ming walked out of the room and saw Xian Yanqing. Now, Xian Yanqing's injuries were much better and he was almost fully recovered. Silly girl, are you all right? Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming worriedly. I'm fine now. Lu Ming walked over and held Xian Yanqing's hand in front of his eyes. He observed the ring seal on her wrist. Xian Yanqing blushed slightly when Lu Ming held her hand. Chapter 710 Knocking on the Door. After a while, Lu Ming's fingers moved in the air and runes appeared one after another. Then, they entered the ring on Xian Yanqing's hand. Beautiful inscriptions appeared on the ring and 2 venomous snakes rushed out. The venomous snakes dispersed in the air. Lu Ming held the ring and shook it with his essential core. The ring shattered. After that, Lu Ming removed all the other rings on Xian Yanqing's body. Boom! As soon as the ring was removed, a powerful aura emanated from Xian Yanqing's body. Then, it slowly disappeared. Fool, you saved my life this time, so I'll take back my previous promise. Xian Yanqing said. What promise? Lu Ming was stunned. Of course it's a promise to trample you under my feet, you fool. Xian Yanqing blinked his big eyes and rolled them at Lu Ming. A smile appeared on his face. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and touched his nose. He was somewhat speechless. Then, his eyes flashed as he stretched out his arms and wrapped them around Xian Yanqing's waist. Shouldn't you repay me with your body for saving your life? It's better to repay your kindness now. Feeling the heat from Lu Ming's arm, Xian Yanqing's face turned red. He released his true energy and broke free. Repay me with your body? You wish. Seeing that Lu Ming was depressed, Xian Yanqing chuckled. But it's not impossible. It depends on your future performance. Really? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Fake. Xian Yanqing smiled and asked about Lu Ming's experience over the past few days. The two of them began to chat. In the Red Leopard Tribe's chief's meeting hall, the atmosphere was extremely depressing. Chief, there's a report from the front. The snake tribe has sent out a large army and is rapidly approaching us. Someone reported. Pass on my order. There's no need to resist at the front. Pull back all the forces and withdraw them into the ancient city. After Qi Jinkong gave the order, he turned to the clan elders and said, Elders, come with me to the city gate to welcome Buhai. After that, Qi Jinkong and the other elders of the Red Leopard tribe arrived at the city gate on the west side of the ancient city. At this moment, a large army had already been deployed around the city gate. A few hours later, the wind howled, and the world was filled with faint sounds. In the sky and on the ground, countless giant snake puppets appeared. On each giant snake puppet sat one or two people. At a glance, there were at least 10,000 giant snake puppets, densely packed together, filling the entire sky. On the city wall of the Red Leopard tribe, a series of dazzling inscriptions appeared. A large formation appeared, along with all kinds of powerful defensive and offensive formations. At the same time, the warriors of the Red Leopard tribe drew their bows and nocked their arrows. There were runes on the arrows, and they shone brightly. A great battle was about to start. The chief of the snake tribe, Buhai, walked out and stood in the air. A venomous snake was wrapped around his neck and flicking its tongue. Buhai's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He looked at Qi Jinkong and said, Qi Jinkong, your daughter Qi Yu and two outsiders are despicable. They snuck into the snake tribe's territory and killed my son, K. Now, hand over the three of them, and I'll retreat and let the Red Leopard tribe off this time. Haha, Buhai, you're really good at making things up. I heard that it was your son who wanted to defile someone else's girlfriend and was killed in anger. He was killed in a direct attack. How can you call it a sneak attack? Qi Jinkong laughed. Humph, what defile? It's that bitch's honor that my son likes her. What are their lowly lives worth? How can you compare yourself to my son? Qi Jinkong, I advise you to look at the situation clearly. Don't bring about the extermination of your Red Leopard tribe. Buhai said coldly. Impossible. Qi Jinkong's reply was decisive. Buhai frowned and his face turned even gloomier. His eyes flickered and he said, How about this, Qi Jinkong? I know you can't bear to part with your daughter. I don't want you to hand over Qi Yu, but as long as you hand over the two extraterrestrials, I'll retreat. Impossible. Qi Jinkong replied with the same two words. Buhai's face darkened. He said, Qi Jinkong, don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. I'll give you 3 days to discuss it. If you don't hand over the two people after 3 days, I will personally lead the army and raze the Red Leopard tribe to the ground. I will make sure that the Red Leopard tribe will be wiped out forever. After saying that, Buhai waved his hand and led his men away. Not long after, the snake tribe's army had all left. It was not that he was not afraid of the Red Leopard tribe. The main thing was that he had hurriedly assembled an army this time, and their strength was not very strong. If he rashly attacked the Red Leopard tribe, he was afraid that both sides would suffer losses. He also needed time to gather more power. As the snake tribe retreated, Qi Jinkong let out a long sigh of relief. Pass down my order. Gather all the forces of the Red Leopard tribe and send them back to guard the ancient city. Elders, follow me back to the meeting hall. Qi Jinkong ordered. A moment later, the meeting hall of the Red Leopard tribe was filled with more than 20 people. Not only were the elders of the Red Leopard tribe present, but there were also many ordinary elders. Tribe leader, in my opinion, we should just hand over the two young men. Why start a war with the snake tribe for two outsiders? That's right, Chief. Those two young men were overconfident. They actually dared to kill K. They were looking for death. We can't drag the Red Leopard tribe down because of two people from the outer realm. Some of the ordinary elders urged Qi Jinkong to hand over Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. No. Qi Jinkong's voice was heard. No. Why not, Chief? An ordinary elder asked doubtfully. I won't hide it from you. Lu Ming was able to break the formation that sealed the previous clan leader. Now, he has already broken 100 formations. There are only 36 left. He will be able to break all of them in a few days. At that time, we will be able to find the secret inscription manual of our tribe and return our Red Leopard tribe to its former peak. said Qi Jinkong. His voice was like a storm that swept across the entire place. What? There's such a thing? Many ordinary elders were shocked. Then they fell silent. They finally knew why Qi Jinkong was protecting Lu Ming. This was related to the rise and fall of the Red Leopard tribe. Patriarch, I don't think so. A voice rang out. It was from the Pure Gold Mountain. With such a major event happening, he was naturally summoned back for a discussion. Pure Gold Mountain walked out and said loudly, "There are still 36 more sealing arrays left. It's still unknown whether that Lu Ming can really break them. Moreover, even if he can break them, so what if we get the inscription refinement secret manual? The Een Snake tribe destroyed our tribe before we could even rise to power. I think we should hand over Lu Ming and that woman to stabilize the Een Snake tribe first. That way, at least we won't be destroyed." The Pure Gold Mountain's words caused many elders to fall into deep thought. Indeed, the Pure Gold Mountain's words were not without reason. If the tribe was annihilated, what was the point of obtaining the inscription secret manual? Qi Jinkong also frowned. He could not refute this. Chapter 711 Way to Win. Seeing everyone's expression, Pure Gold Mountain's face revealed a smug expression, and he continued, "Moreover, there are only 36 sealing formations left. As long as we hand over Lu Ming and the woman, we can stabilize the Een Snake tribe. Then we can slowly think of a way to break the last 36 formations. This is the best plan." "That's right, what the Pure Gold Mountain elder said makes sense." An elder spoke out, supporting the Pure Gold Mountain statement. This caused excitement to flash in the Pure Gold Mountain's eyes. "I object. Lu Ming is our clan's benefactor. If we treat him this way and word gets out, what will others think of our clan? Also, the most important thing now is the awakening of the ancient ancestor. As long as we can stop the Een Snake tribe's attack, we'll enter a period of peace. If Lu Ming can awaken the ancient ancestor, he'll definitely value our tribe. That's the foundation of our tribe's rise." Qi Yu's second uncle, Qi Jintian, said. "That's right, I also agree with second brother's words." Qi Jinkong said. "Second brother, clan leader, you've overestimated Lu Ming. There are many extraterrestrials who have descended this time. How did you know that Lu Ming is the legendary chosen one? We can't bet the fate of our race on this tiny possibility. Right now, we have to deal with the Een Snake tribe. The most important thing is to protect our tribe." Pure Gold Mountain shouted loudly, causing many people to nod their heads. "What if I can destroy the Een Snake tribe?" Suddenly, a voice came from outside the hall, causing everyone's heart to skip a beat. They couldn't help but look outside the hall. 3 young figures walked in. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and Qi Yu. Lu Ming was the one who said those words just now. This is our clan's meeting hall. How can you bring 2 outsiders in?" The Pure Gold Mountain berated. "It's fine. Our clan is greatly indebted to Lu Ming. We can enter the discussion." Qi Jinkong waved his hand, causing Qi Jinshan's expression to turn ugly. The Pure Gold Mountain's face darkened as he looked at Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, what did you just say? You can destroy the Een Snake tribe? Not bad." Lu Ming nodded. "Ha ha ha, you're so full of yourself. You're just a heaven-grade inscriber? Kid, do you know how strong the Een Snake tribe is? Laughable, truly laughable." The Pure Gold Mountain laughed loudly, revealing a mocking expression. "Hee hee, I remember that you said that I was talking big before. How could a mere sky realm break the seal formation? How did I break it in the end?" Lu Ming replied indifferently. The Pure Gold Mountain's face turned red. He had indeed said such words back then, but the truth had proven that his words were just nonsense. "Humph, this is completely different from breaking the seal. The Een Snake tribe is extremely powerful. There are dozens of tribes in the area. How can they be destroyed just like that?" The Pure Gold Mountain chided coldly. "Of course I have my ways," Lu Ming said. "If you have a way, why don't you say it out and let everyone see if your method is feasible?" Qi Jinshan said. "I can't say it now. If I want to say it, I'll only say it to the patriarch," Lu Ming said. You're clearly trying to stall for time by spouting nonsense. What can you do? Pure Gold Mountain shouted. Because I don't trust you. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. What? Kid, what do you mean by this? If you dare to slander me, I'll kill you right now. The Pure Gold Mountain roared. All right, sixth brother, you can leave now. I believe in Lu Ming. At this moment, Qi Jinkong spoke. His voice revealed an unquestionable meaning. I believe in Lu Ming too. I also believe that. Qi Jintian and a few clan elders spoke one after another. Qi Jinkong and a few clan elders with the most authority all spoke, and the others immediately fell silent. Thank you for your trust, seniors. Clan leader, can you ask the others to leave? Senior Jin Tian and the other clan elders can stay. I have a plan to destroy the Een Snake tribe. Lu Ming said. All right, you can all leave. Qi Jinkong waved his hand in an unquestionable manner. The Pure Gold Mountain's expression was extremely ugly. He gritted his teeth and could only retreat. Soon, only Qi Jinkong, Qi Jintian, and a few elders were left in the hall. Of course, Qi Yu and Xian Yanqing were also there. Lu Ming, do you have any way to exterminate the Een Snake tribe? A look of hope flashed in Qi Jinkong's eyes. He was satisfied as long as he could stop the Een Snake tribe's attack, let alone destroy them. Chief, if the Een Snake tribe were to attack the Red Leopard tribe, would they attack from the sky or from the ground? Lu Ming gave an irrelevant answer. Of course we'll attack from the ground. In the air, they'll be covered by our arrows, and in the air, they can't inscribe formations to defend. If they use inscription talismans all the time, they won't be able to afford it. If we attack from the ground, we can cooperate with each other. One person will control the puppet, and the other will inscribe an inscription formation to block our arrows. At the same time they can also shoot back arrows. Qi Jinkong explained. That's good. If I have a way to cut off the connection between the Een Snake tribe's people and the puppets, do you have the confidence to defeat the Een Snake tribe? Lu Ming smiled. What? Cut off the connection between the Een Snake tribe's people and the puppets? Qi Jinkong's eyes were burning with a fiery light. The others were the same. If that's the case, our tribe will be able to annihilate the Een Snake tribe with our puppet army. Qi Jinkong's eyes were bright as he glared at Lu Ming. If they could really annihilate the Een Snake tribe, the Red Leopard tribe's reputation would definitely soar, and their strength would also increase rapidly. That's good. I know of a formation that can cut off the connection between the enemy and the puppets once they enter the formation. As long as we set up the formation outside the ancient city, the Een Snake tribe will be killed if they attack. Lu Ming smiled confidently. There's such a wondrous formation? Qi Jinkong was shocked. He frowned and said, if that's the case, won't our clansman's connection with the puppets be cut off if they charge in? It's fine. I have a small puppet controlling technique here. After using it, you can avoid being cut off from the puppet by that kind of formation. Moreover, this small technique is very easy to learn, and can be learned in a few hours. Lu Ming took out a jade tablet and handed it to Qi Jinkong. The clan leader can teach this little technique to some of his confidants, but please don't explain the use of this technique. It'll be troublesome if word gets out. Good, haha. Qi Jinkong took it and laughed excitedly. The others were also excited. There's no time to lose. I'll go and inscribe the great inscription formation now. However, clan head, you'd better keep an eye on the Pure Gold Mountain elder. Lu Ming said as if he was implying something. Don't worry, I know what to do. Qi Jinkong's eyes flickered as he thought of something. Lu Ming nodded and left with Xian Yanqing and the rest. Chapter 712 War begins. Of course, this formation was told to him by Dan Dan. It was indeed mysterious and was an ancient formation that had gone extinct. However, there was a flaw in this kind of large array. It was too complicated to inscribe and required a very long time. It was impossible to activate it instantly. Moreover, it was only useful against puppets, so it slowly disappeared in the long river of history. However, it was just right for now. After walking out of the West City Gate, Lu Ming began to inscribe. One by one, the complicated inscriptions sank into the ground and disappeared. As time slowly passed, the Red Leopard tribe began to recall their forces to guard their headquarters. The Snake tribe also began to gather a large number of people to prepare for battle. The other tribes were all observing the battle. Even if the Snake tribe could destroy the Red Leopard tribe, they would suffer some losses. The other tribes would naturally sit on the mountain and watch. 3 days passed quickly. On the third day, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qi Yu, Qi Jinkong, and the others stood on the city wall. There were people everywhere on the city wall. In the sky above the ancient city, many people summoned their puppets and sat on their backs, floating in the sky. "They're here." Suddenly, Qi Jinkong's voice sounded. 3 huge snake puppets flew towards them from the sky. They were Buhai and the 2 elders of the Snake tribe. More of the Snake tribe's army rode on the giant snake puppets and followed the ground to the rear. Buhai and the 2 clan elders stopped in the sky a few miles away. "Kid, you killed my son?" Buhai looked at Lu Ming and said in a cold and heartless voice. "That's right, he should die." Lu Ming's reply was very simple. "Good, very good. Boy, I swear that I will make you suffer the most painful torture in the world. I will make you face a dilemma of life and death." His eyes were frighteningly dark, like those of a poisonous snake. Then, he looked at Jinkong Qi and said, "Jinkong Qi, it seems like you don't want to hand him over? Are you planning to bury the entire Red Leopard tribe with this kid? If you have the ability, you can try." Qi Jin said. His attitude was clear. "Good, very good. It seems that you have forgotten the dignity of the Snake tribe after a few years of not conquering it. In that case, the Red Leopard tribe shall be destroyed." Buhai's voice spread far and wide. As soon as he said the word "dang me," a deafening battle cry came from behind. "Kill! Raze the Red Leopard tribe to the ground. Kill all the men but leave the young women behind." The Snake tribe members shouted as they controlled the giant snake puppet to follow the ground and rush towards the Red Leopard tribe's ancient city. There were too many people, at least 20,000 giant snake puppets, and 2 people were sitting on each of them. One engraved a defensive formation, while the other controlled the puppets and shot arrows at the same time. They were well coordinated. "Prepare the bows and arrows." Qi Jin waved his hand. Instantly, tens of thousands of people knocked their arrows. "Fire!" Qi Jin waved his hand again. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A large number of arrows were shot towards the Snake tribe's army. Each arrow had a rune on it. There were powerful explosive runes, as well as gale runes that could increase speed and penetration. More than 10,000 arrows covered the sky. The Snake tribe's army began to glow with runes and formations. Light barriers appeared one after another, covering both the puppets and humans. At the same time, a portion of the Snake tribe's army also drew their bows and shot arrows at the Red Leopard tribe. At the same time, Elder Gu of the Red Leopard tribe also activated his inscription formation. Boom! Boom! "Summon the puppets and prepare for a great battle," Qi Jinkong ordered. The defensive light shield formed by the great inscription formation on the ancient city was shaking continuously. It would not last for long. More cheetah puppets appeared on the city walls and in the sky. The Snake tribe's army was getting closer and closer. They were only a few miles away from the Red Leopard tribe's ancient city. Lu Ming stood on the city wall, his gaze sweeping across the distance. "It's almost time." Suddenly, Lu Ming mumbled. His hands glowed with a green light and he started to inscribe in the air rapidly. Finally, it turned into a large inscription array and flew down to the ground outside the city wall. "Great formation, rise!" Lu Ming shouted. Buzz! At this moment, the entire ground seemed to shake. Then, countless inscriptions appeared on the ground. One formation after another, it was unknown how many there were in total, but they covered an area of 30 miles in length and width. Yes, Lu Ming spent 3 days and did his best to inscribe a large array within a 30-mile radius. Almost all of the Snake army was covered in the mist. At this moment, the Snake tribe was in an uproar. What's going on? Why can't I control the puppets? Me too. It seems like my connection with the puppet has been cut off. How could this be? I'll try. Ah, I can't control it either. All sorts of terrified cries rang out. Those who were originally only assisting with the inscribing array also summoned their own puppets, but the result was the same. All of them were cut off from their puppets. The tens of thousands of giant snake puppets were like rocks, standing there motionlessly. Kill, kill, puppet troops, kill. Seeing this, Qi Jinkong's eyes lit up with excitement. He knew that he had made the right bet. He took the lead and rushed out of the city. Those who had been secretly taught and cultivated the puppet-controlling technique that Lu Ming had taught them all followed Qi Jinkong. They rode on the cheetah puppet and rushed outside. This army had a total of 8,000 people, and each of them had a cheetah puppet. They were the true elites of the Red Leopard tribe. Originally, there were only 8,000 of them, but the Een Snake tribe had sent out 40,000 elites. They were no match for the Een Snake tribe. But now, he couldn't control the Een Snake tribe's puppets. He could only use inscriptions and runes to fight them. The difference in combat power was unknown. There was a huge difference in combat strength between having a puppet and not having one. Qi Jinkong led his 8,000-strong army and charged into the Een Snake tribe's army. Instantly, all sorts of howls and screams rose and fell. One-sided. Completely one-sided. Although the Een Snake tribe tried their best to resist, it was still one-sided. Without the puppets, they had lost their most powerful weapon. As for the Red Leopard tribe, they controlled the puppets and attacked with all their might. The puppets were not afraid of pain or death. They madly charged forward, tearing apart the Een Snake tribesmen one after another. Blood splattered all over the ground. Chapter 713 Een Snake. Ah, how could this be? How did this happen? In the sky, Een Buhai let out a roar of disbelief. Kill! A few elders of the Red Leopard tribe controlled their puppets and flew into the sky, attacking Een Buhai and the others. The rest of the clan elders and elders worked with Jinkong Qi to kill some of the Een Snake tribe's experts. The rest of you, control the puppets and surround them in the sky. Kill anyone who tries to escape. Qi Jintian was on the city wall, giving orders. There were at least 10,000 people from the Red Leopard tribe controlling puppets to fly into the sky and surround the Een Snake tribe. Lu Ming stood on the city wall and did not make a move. The situation was clear for this battle. There was no need for him to make a move. Besides, he had no desire to fight. He realized that the blood essence of an inscriber contained a very limited amount of power. It was also of limited help to him. Only martial arts powerhouses or powerful demonic beasts would have extremely powerful blood essence. This was understandable. An inscriber specialized in mental energy fire, physical strength, and blood chi. Of course, they could not be compared to martial arts powerhouses. Battle cries resounded through the heavens and earth. There were still many people on top of Red Leopard Ancient City. However, most of these people had low cultivation and did not have any puppets. Hence, they did not leave the city to participate in the battle and only guarded the city walls. As time passed, the battle cries gradually died down. The air was filled with blood and the ground was covered with corpses. The battle lasted for 2 hours before it finally quieted down. The Een Snake tribe's army was almost completely annihilated. Only a few powerful elders managed to escape, but they were also severely injured. Even Een Buhai had been captured with serious injuries. Under the siege of several elders of the Red Leopard tribe, he was severely injured. In fact, the Red Leopard tribe's high-end combat power was not much weaker than the Een Snake tribe's. These experts had all risen to power 60 years ago. Bang! Een Buhai was thrown on the city wall, right beside Lu Ming's feet. Brother Lu Ming, I'll leave Een Buhai to you. At this moment, the Red Leopard tribe's elders and elders looked at Lu Ming with eyes filled with gratitude and respect. This battle was all because of Lu Ming. Otherwise, the outcome would have been the complete opposite. How could this be? Why does the Red Leopard tribe have such a powerful formation that can cut off the connection between humans and puppets? I've never heard of it before. Een Buhai shouted. I was the one who carved this formation. Lu Ming looked at Een Buhai and said coldly. It's you? It's you again. Ha ha ha. Could it be that the heavens want the Een Snake tribe to be destroyed? Buhai shouted unwillingly. This is called self-inflicted suffering. Little Qing is in the hands of your snake tribe. If you had treated her well, how could she have ended up in this disaster? Lu Ming said coldly. Buhai looked at Xianyanqing and laughed. His laughter was filled with mixed emotions. He didn't know if it was regret or unwillingness. Treat her well? The snake tribe ruled over dozens of tribes in the surrounding area. They were used to being rude and unreasonable. Bullying happened every day in the snake tribe. After so many years, the snake tribe had still become more and more prosperous. Nothing had happened to them. Who would have known that because of Xianyanqing, she had offended someone she shouldn't have? She could only say that she was just unlucky. Bang! Lu Ming took a step forward and a combat sword formed. He pinned Buhai to the city wall and his storage ring fell into Lu Ming's hands. Immediately, the army of over 10,000 soldiers controlled the puppets and headed in the direction of the snake tribe. Lu Ming did not participate in this battle. He returned to the ancient city with Xianyanqing and cultivated in seclusion. The snake tribe's elites had been exterminated, and even Buhai had died. The outcome of this battle was almost predictable. In the Supreme Shrine, Lu Ming had the path understanding ancient tree next to him and a piece of earth intent crystal in his hand. Back then on the small island in the heaven realm, Lu Ming had obtained many types of earth profound crystals. The number was not less than the wind and fire profound crystals. Now, the force of the earth had already fused with the three intents. Now, it was time to improve. There were 9 types of commonly seen heaven and earth intent realms: wind, fire, water, metal, wood, thunder, ice, earth, and mountain. As for the earth mentality, it was similar to the earth and mountain mentalities, but it was more advanced. It could be said to be an evo-levered version of the two mentalities. It was a special kind of mentality that was full of heaviness, vicissitudes, and ancientness. Not only was its offensive power extremely shocking, suppressing everything, but its defensive power was also extremely terrifying. It was an extremely powerful intent realm. Right now, he was only at the beginner stage of Earth Force and could not unleash its power. When Lu Ming improved it, the power it could unleash would be extremely terrifying. Gotcha! He crushed an earth profound crystal and started cultivating. One after another, 3 days later, Lu Ming had consumed a total of 30 earth profound crystals. He had cultivated earth force to large success, just a step away from perfection. It was obvious that earth force was harder to cultivate than the 9 commonly seen forces or intents. At this moment, Lu Ming ended his cultivation. In the past 3 days, Qi Jinkong had led his army to battle. Now, he had finally returned. Without a doubt, the snake tribe had been destroyed. The red leopard tribe had broken into the ancient city, and many people had surrendered to the red leopard tribe. In particular, the large areas of land that had been occupied by the snake tribe in the past, as well as the tribesmen of the red leopard tribe who had been enslaved by the snake tribe, had all returned to the red leopard tribe. In a short time, the red leopard tribe's strength and reputation had greatly increased. The surrounding tribes were all shocked. They had never thought that the powerful snake tribe would be destroyed. Immediately, all the tribes strengthened their defenses. This was especially so for the tribes that had enmity with the red leopard tribe. They were even more jittery and strengthened their defenses by several times. The red leopard tribe held a grand celebration. During the celebration, Qi Jinkong and the other leaders of the red leopard tribe thanked Lu Ming in public. This battle was all because of Lu Ming. Many people were secretly glad that they had chosen to believe in Lu Ming. Otherwise, how could there be such results? The red leopard tribe had been suppressed ever since the previous tribe leader was killed and sealed. After being suppressed for so many years, they finally had the feeling of being able to hold their heads up high. Naturally, they were excited. Everyone was happy, but there were 2 people who weren't happy. They were the Pure Gold Mountain and the Pure Peak. Damn it, how did this happen? The Pure Gold Mountain growled in a low voice. He clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. His eyes were fixed on Lu Ming. If looks could kill, Lu Ming would have long pierced through 1,000 holes. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. He seemed to have sensed something and suddenly turned to look at the Pure Gold Mountain. The Pure Gold Mountain was shocked and quickly turned its head. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Lu Ming, I knew I was right. When I first saw you, I knew you were the legendary destined one. Chi Yu walked in front of Lu Ming, her big eyes blinking. She was very excited. Traitor. We haven't even reached the holy mountain yet. It's too early to say that I'm the chosen one. I don't know how to wake your ancient ancestor up. Lu Ming smiled. Don't be so modest, Lu Ming. I have a feeling that you're the only one who can awaken the ancient ancestor on this trip to the holy mountain. To be honest, if it weren't for the fact that you're from the outside world and have to return one day, and that you have such a beautiful girlfriend like Miss Xia, I'd really like to keep you by my side and be my man. Red Moon blinked her big eyes and spoke very directly. Cough, cough. Lu Ming kept coughing. He did not expect Red Moon to be so direct. Indeed, the humans in the underground were different from those outside. On the side, Xian Yanqing blushed and said, I'm not his confidant. Miss Qiyu, why don't you let him stay and be your man? This pervert will definitely be willing to do it. Oh really? Then I won't be polite. Qiyu chuckled, her gaze sweeping between Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Pervert quickly agree. Xian Yanqing's big eyes were fixed on Lu Ming. He emphasized every single word. Ah ha ha, this wine is so good. Ha ha, the moon is so beautiful today. Lu Ming picked up a glass of wine, took a big gulp, and laughed awkwardly. However, this was the underground world. Where did the moonlight come from? 2 days later, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qi Yu, Qi Jinkong, Qi Jin Mountain, and a few elders of the Red Leopard tribe gathered at the canyon where the previous chief of the Red Leopard tribe was sealed. The crimson blood sand and the poisonous snake blood mist were all ready. Now, they could break the last 36 sealing formations. Lu Ming strode forward. With a wave of his hand, a cloud of crimson blood sand floated in the air. Then, he took out a jade bottle that contained the blood mist of a venomous snake. He opened the bottle and the blood mist flew out, mixing with the crimson blood sand. Following that, Lu Ming's fingers moved rapidly in the air. He was so fast that afterimages appeared in the air. Whoosh! Whoosh! Inscriptions attached to the crimson blood sand and the poisonous snake's blood mist flew into the grand sealing formation. Everyone held their breath and watched quietly. Qi Jinkong and the others had a look of anticipation in their eyes. However, there was one exception, and that was Pure Gold Mountain. His eyes were filled with anxiety, and his gaze flickered with uncertainty. Buzz! The sealing formation glowed and a huge poisonous rainbow snake pounced out. However, the poisonous rainbow snake was covered in a layer of blood-red mist. Bang! The poisonous rainbow snake collapsed in mid-air. The first of the last 36 formations had been broken. Lu Ming continued to break the seal, his fingers moving non-stop. The crimson blood sand and the poisonous snake's blood mist were also constantly consumed. Soon, the second formation was broken. In this way, one after another, Lu Ming cracked the major arrays. Every time Lu Ming cracked 9 major arrays, he would sit cross-legged and restore his mental energy fire. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. There was only one formation left out of the 36. Qi Jinkong and the others stared at it with wide eyes. They were so excited that their breathing became heavy. On the other hand, the Pure Gold Mountain clenched its fists and slowly moved its body to the front, close to Lu Ming's position. As Lu Ming's fingers moved, inscriptions fell on the ground. CSI. This time, a total of 3 7-colored venomous snakes flew out and crumbled in the air. The seal has been broken. The heavens have blessed our Red Leopard tribe. The Pure Gold Mountain gave a loud cry and was the first to move, directly charging into the valley. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. He took a step forward and a vine shot out, wrapping around the Pure Gold Mountain. What's going on? Lu Ming, it's you. What are you doing? The Pure Gold Mountain roared. Why are you so anxious? Lu Ming sneered and dashed into the valley. The Pure Gold Mountain roared in anger. A puppet appeared and broke through the vines. He also rushed in. At the same time, the Pure Gold Mountain and the rest also rushed into the valley. The valley was not big. Not long after he rushed in, Lu Ming saw a skeleton leaning against the wall, sitting cross-legged. Lu Ming saw at a glance that one of the skeleton's claws was holding a jade tablet. On its finger was a storage ring. Get lost! Behind them, the pure gold mountain roared angrily. Lu Ming sneered. With a sweep of his vital essence, he took the jade card from the skeleton's storage ring into his hand. Lu Ming, what are you doing? You want to steal the treasure of the previous clan leader? You're courting death. The pure gold mountain's eyes turned cold as it controlled the puppet to charge towards Lu Ming. Clang! At this moment, another puppet rushed out and blocked the puppet from the pure gold mountain. It was the pure gold mountain puppet. Clan leader, don't block me. You should have seen that this brat has ulterior motives and wants to seize the previous clan leader's treasure. The pure gold mountain roared. Pure gold mountain, what are you so anxious about? Who said I wanted to steal the treasures of your previous clan leader? I'm only here to hand it over to the clan leader. Lu Ming waved his hand and the jade token and storage ring flew to Qi Jin Kong. Qi Jin Kong caught them in his hands. Qi tribe leader, that jade tablet should have been left behind by the previous tribe leader before he died. It should contain some important information. You should take a look. Lu Ming said with a smile. Pure Gold Mountain's face was extremely gloomy. Qi Jin Kong picked up the jade token and sank his spiritual power into it. Then, his expression changed drastically and became extremely ugly. The Pure Gold Mountain's figure was slowly moving towards the outside. Elders, take down the Pure Gold Mountain. Qi Jin Kong suddenly roared. Although the few elders were stunned, they did not hesitate. Puppets appeared and surrounded the Pure Gold Mountain. Patriarch, what is the meaning of this? Pure Gold Mountain's expression was extremely ugly. What do you mean? Haha, Pure Gold Mountain, I really didn't expect that you were the one who betrayed the previous generation clan head. If not for that, how could the previous generation clan head be besieged and fall in the end? Before the previous generation clan head died, he had already recorded everything in this jade token. Pure Gold Mountain, how should you be punished? Qi Jin Kong roared, his eyes red. His heart ached. He had never thought that it was the Pure Gold Mountain that betrayed the previous clan head. Lu Ming nodded. It was indeed so. Back then, Qi Yu had brought him here and said that he could break the Great Ceiling Formation. The Pure Gold Mountain had opposed it with all its might and had even tried to find a reason to kill Lu Ming. This in itself was very strange. The others were hoping that Lu Ming could break the seal and let him try. Only the Pure Gold Mountain tried its best to stop him. It was as if it was afraid that Lu Ming would break the seal. Therefore, Lu Ming had been on guard against him. When they were breaking the last formation, Lu Ming had been on guard against him. He used the formation to stop him and was the first to obtain the item left behind by the Red Leopard tribe's previous tribe leader. If it were to fall into the Pure Gold Mountain's hands, he would definitely destroy the evidence. When the few clan elders heard this, their expressions also changed greatly as they looked at the Pure Gold Mountain with dark faces. Ha ha ha! Seeing that he had been exposed, the Pure Gold Mountain laughed loudly and said, "That's right. I did it all. After so many years, everything should have disappeared. It's all because of this brat. He destroyed everything. The heavens want me dead." The spiritual ocean tier was known as the Almighty, and it was the first tier of the 3 spiritual divine tiers. It was not something that the King's tier could compare to, and was definitely a qualitative leap. However, who knew how many people had been trapped to death by this step? The two of them chatted as they walked. After a while, they arrived at a large square outside. There were already many people gathered here. One after another, huge cheetah puppets stopped in the square. "Lu Ming, Monsieur, you're here." Heavy assessment. The surrounding environment suddenly changed. Lu Ming realized that he was standing on a platform. In front of the platform, there was a stone ladder that slanted upwards. There seemed to be another platform above it. What a wonderful formation! I didn't even notice a trace of it. Lu Ming was rather shocked. With his current level of inscription, he had not found a single trace. The formation here was definitely far beyond level 5. No, far beyond level 6. It was not something that he could pry into at his current level. Kid, the inscription formation here is incredible. It was definitely set up by an expert with extremely high attainments in inscription. Dandan, who was on Lu Ming's shoulder, looked around. There were not many people who could make Dandan say such words. Buzz! At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ming. It was a brawny man in his 30s. He looked like a real person, but his expression and voice were very cold. As long as you can defeat me, you will be able to pass the next stage. Buzz! The sound of a sword rang out, and the sword chi was unrestrained. A combat sword appeared in the burly man's hand and he slashed it at Lu Ming. Peak Tier King. Lu Ming's expression changed. The one that appeared was indeed of the same cultivation level as him. It was a Peak Tier King. However, Lu Ming could kill martial artists of the same level in seconds. He punched out, and the explosive fist radiance turned the figure into dust. Lu Ming strode forward and went up the stone stairs to the second platform. This time, two figures appeared on the platform. The two figures looked exactly the same as the brawny man from before. Furthermore, they were both Peak Tier Kings. As long as you can defeat us, you can proceed to the next stage. As soon as he finished speaking, the sound of swords clashing could be heard. The two strong men attacked Lu Ming at the same time. Their attacks formed a wonderful network. Battle formation. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The two burly men were not launching ordinary attacks. They were cooperating to form a large array. The power was definitely not as simple as multiplying by 2. Instead, it was multiplied by several times. However, to Lu Ming, it was still nothing. He punched out, and the boundless fist force drowned the two strong men. When the fist force disappeared, the two strong men disappeared as well. Lu Ming continued to move forward. In the third stage, 4 strong men appeared. Similarly, the 4 of them joined forces to set up a formation, and its power was even more terrifying. However, he was still crushed by Lu Ming's exploding star fist and he managed to break through. 4th round, 8 strong men. 5th round, 16 strong men. At every stage, the number of people would double, and the battle formations they set up were terrifying. It was impossible for ordinary martial artists to make it through. Only a few peerless geniuses could pass it. Very quickly, he had reached the 7th level. There were 64 brawny men in the 7th level, and they were all Peak Tier Kings. The formation they set up was unimaginably powerful. It's a good opportunity to train my intent. Lu Ming held the infinite dragon spear in his hand and maneuvered through the crowd. He fused the earth concept with the other 3 concepts and bombarded them continuously, tempering his own concept. A moment later, all 64 strong men were killed by Lu Ming. Whoosh! At this moment, a jade token flew towards Lu Ming. He reached out and caught it. What is this? Could it be my reward? Lu Ming's mind sank into the jade card and a hint of joy appeared on his face. The jade token contained a martial technique, a demigod-level martial technique. The demigod-level martial arts technique was extremely precious. Lu Ming kept it. Count the ripples of the water drops? It seems like this trial tests one's observation skills. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Then, he came to the side of the pond. A drop of water fell from above and landed on the surface of the water, creating ripples. Lu Ming was highly focused, his eyes fixed on the surface of the water. Layers of ripples continued to spread. At first, it was clear, but in the end, it became fainter and fainter, and finally disappeared. A total of 1,356 levels. Lu Ming answered. Correct. Let's see what happens next. The voice rang out again. This time, there were 2 drops of water that fell into the pool. The ripples formed by the 2 drops of water interfered with each other and overlapped each other. The difficulty was more than 10 times higher than before. Lu Ming had to count the number of ripples produced by the 2 drops of water. After a while, the water droplet disappeared. 2,537. Lu Ming answered. Correct. Continue watching. The voice rang out again. There are more. Lu Ming frowned. There were 3 water droplets this time. The ripples formed by the 3 drops of water interfered with each other, making it even more complicated. Lu Ming observed it carefully. After a moment, the waves disappeared. Lu Ming frowned. In his mind, he kept recalling the waves that he had just seen. How many waves? The voice asked. 3,600. Lu Ming answered. Congratulations on your success. The voice was heard, and then a sword flew over. Lu Ming held it in his hands. This combat sword is of such high quality. It should be a 6th-tier superior grade combat sword. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Spirit weapons were divided into low grade, middle grade, high grade, and above high grade. There were supreme grade and peerless grade. Lu Ming's infinite dragon spear was now a 6 extreme superior grade sword. The quality of this combat sword was much higher than Lu Ming's infinite dragon spear. Unfortunately, Lu Ming could not use it. In another cave, Xian Yanqing waved his hand and grabbed a combat sword. A supreme grade lever 6 combat sword. Xian Yanqing kept it and continued walking. Just like Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing had also obtained a demigod-level martial arts technique and this combat sword. In a cave, Jian Filiu also passed 2 rounds and got a demigod-level martial technique and a combat sword. With this martial technique and combat sword, my combat strength can continue to improve. Jian Filiu's eyes revealed his excitement. At this moment, at the foot of the sacred mountain, people were constantly being sent flying. There's only Lu Ming and Miss Xie left. I wonder how they're doing? Qi Jinkong sighed. Almost all of the more than 100 extraterrestrials from the Red Leopard tribe had failed. Only Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were still inside. Dad, don't worry. I believe that Lu Ming will definitely succeed. Qi Yu's eyes were bright. She had great trust in Lu Ming. The Red Leopard tribe was still fine. Many tribes were already sighing in despair because they had been completely annihilated. On the holy mountain, Lu Ming put away his combat sword and strode forward. The scene around him changed again. In front of him, 9 passages appeared, leading to the front. Lu Ming frowned. What was this test? Emperor Path Expert. There are 9 paths here, and only one of them is the path of life. The other 8 are paths of death. Once you step in, you will die without a doubt. You can choose one to enter. The voice rang out again. Lu Ming was shocked. 9 paths, 8 paths of death, and 1 path of survival. If he were to choose, the chances of survival were only 1 in 9. Was this a test of luck? Senior, may I ask if there are any hints? Lu Ming asked. No hints, you can choose. A voice rang out. Lu Ming's brows furrowed even more tightly. Could it really be a test of luck? That's impossible. Luck is something that's illusory and no one can say for sure. Since the person who set up these formations wanted to take the test, there's no way it was a test of luck. It's better to just test my luck. Lu Ming's mind was spinning rapidly. You have 5 minutes to consider. If you don't choose, you can just retreat. The voice rang out again. Why 5 minutes? I can make my decision now. Lu Ming smiled and strode toward the middle path. 9 paths appeared in front of Xian Yanqing, exactly the same as Lu Ming's. Xian Yanqing pondered for a moment before he strode into the 4th path. Jian Filiu looked at the 9 paths in front of him and frowned. After a while, he sighed and turned around. After a short while, he appeared at the foot of the mountain. Faced with a 1/9 chance of survival, how many people could make a choice? Lu Ming stepped onto the middle path. The next moment, he found himself in a huge cave. The cave was very wide, and in the middle of the cave, there was an altar. At this time in the cave, there was a flash of light and another figure appeared. Little Qing. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming. Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming and walked over with a smile. As expected, the 9 paths were a lie. Xian Yanqing smiled. It's not really a lie. You need to test a person's courage and wisdom. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming speculated that the previous 9 paths were not 8 dead ends or 1 path of survival. Instead, all of them were paths of survival. As for the 8 dead ends, it was purely a scare. This would depend on everyone's judgment. Of course, it would also require great courage. For some people, even if they could guess the answer, it was a different matter whether they dared to step in. What if there was really a dead end? This place required courage. There was no doubt that Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming had successfully passed the test. After a moment, no one else appeared. Only Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing appeared. Sigh, after so many years, someone has finally come here. At this moment, a sigh was heard. Who is it? Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's expressions changed. Didn't you all come here to find me? Lu Ming saw a figure appear on the altar in the middle. It was a middle-aged man in his 40s. He wore a long 2-colored robe and was floating in the air. A terrifying pressure emanated from his body. The middle-aged man did not release any aura, but the pressure he exuded was natural. Lu Ming had a feeling that he was facing a vast heaven and earth, a whole world. Strong, too strong. Lu Ming was shocked. However, this middle-aged man was obviously not a real person. He was an illusionary body that seemed to be transparent. Strong, he's too strong. He's an emperor, an expert of the emperor path. Dandan screamed in horror, her 4 limbs and head all retracted into the turtle shell. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's hearts trembled. Wasn't an imperial path expert a martial emperor? The person in front of him was actually a martial emperor? Was the martial emperor's treasure real? Interesting little turtle. The middle-aged man glanced at Dandan, then at Lu Ming and then at Xian Yanqing. It was as if the sun, moon and stars were shifting in his eyes. These 2 little fellows are interesting. They seem to be hiding a lot of things. The middle-aged man smiled and waved his hand. In an instant, Lu Ming seemed to have lost control of himself. 5 spiritual rings floated above his head. 5 stages and 10 mind lamps have been lit. Amazing, amazing. Back then I was only at this level. Haha, good. The middle-aged man laughed. Senior, may I ask who you are? Did Senior set up the entrance to the martial emperor's treasure in the chaotic astral ocean? Lu Ming asked. The person in front of him should be the ancient ancestor that the people of the underground world had mentioned. Who am I? Sigh, it's already been thousands of years. I've almost forgotten about it. The middle-aged man let out a faint sigh. After a moment of silence he said, My name is Lian Cong. Lian Cong. Lu Ming looked puzzled. He had never heard of this name. Lian Cong, you are the Talisman Emperor, the sect master of the Talisman sect, Lian Cong. Xian Yanqing exclaimed. Xian Yanqing's eyes widened in disbelief. What? He's the Talisman Emperor? Lu Ming was also shocked and shocked. He had never heard of the name Lian Cong, but not many people had not heard of the Talisman Emperor. There were 4 overlord forces in the Eastern Barren Territory. The Empyrean Heavenly Divine Palace, the Heavenly Corpse Sect, the Heavenly Demon Valley, and the Talisman Sect. The Talisman Amulet Sect focused on inscription and focused on the Tao of inscription. Martial arts were only supplementary. The Talisman Emperor was the sect master of the Talisman sect. He had reached level 9 in the Tao of inscription, which was equivalent to the martial emperor realm. He was as famous as DE and martial emperor. He was one of the few emperors in the Eastern Barren Land. He could shake the entire Eastern Barren Land with a stomp of his foot. In fact, in the entire Divine Wilderness continent, they were the strongest. It was said that the Talisman Emperor had fallen 3,000 years ago. As for why he had fallen, it had always been a mystery. But why did he appear underground? Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing had endless questions in their hearts. Little girl, you know quite a lot. Your bloodline is very special, so you should be from that family in the central continent, right? Lian Cong revealed a smile. Xian Yanqing was silent. Lu Ming was shocked. Central continent. Xian Yanqing came from the central continent? Then why did she come to the East continent? You guys must be very curious about what happened, right? Why am I here? Liao Cong said. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing nodded. Actually, I was ambushed and killed by someone. The person who ambushed me was the palace master of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, Martial Emperor De. Lian Cong said word by word. What? Lu Ming's heart trembled again. The Talisman Emperor, Lian Cong, was killed by Martial Emperor De's sneak attack? It was beyond their expectations. 3,000 years ago, I was secretly killed by De, and only a wisp of my soul was left. I escaped into this underground world and escaped the detection of De's Martial Emperor. I've been alive until now. The Talisman Emperor slowly explained the reason. Becoming Lian Cong's disciple. 3,000 years ago, Lian Cong was beaten to the point where only a wisp of his soul was left. He escaped into the underground world. In the beginning, his heart was filled with hatred and he wanted to take revenge. Thus, he imparted the Tao of Inscription to the underground humans, hoping to cultivate an imperial path expert to avenge him. Thus, he became the ancient ancestor of the underground humans. But later, he realized that the underground humans had a special constitution. Perhaps because they lived underground, they were different from the great Tao of heaven and earth and were forever separated from the sun, moon and stars. Thus, the underground humans were not like the people outside the earth, who had infinite possibilities. The humans here could only cultivate to the 6th level at most. That's right, rank 6 was equivalent to the Spirit Sea realm, which was also the god rank that the Underdark humans called. How could a level 6 help him take revenge? His remnant soul couldn't go out to find a successor. As a sovereign realm expert, he was afraid that Martial Emperor De would sense him as soon as he went out. Out of helplessness, Lian Cong made 9 jade swords and found a few peak level 6 experts to send them out of the underground world. They built an entrance to the underground world and scattered the 9 jade swords everywhere in hopes of finding a fated person who could enter the underground world and become Lian Cong's inheritor to avenge him. He had deliberately spread the news underground, saying that if someone from the outside world came in, there would be a person inside who could wake him up. However, as time went by, no one came in. Lian Cong was slowly losing hope. A wisp of his soul fell into a deep sleep. In the blink of an eye, 3,000 years had passed. Who would have thought that after 3,000 years, someone would finally come in? Furthermore, there were 2 people who had made it to the last stage. As soon as Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming entered the last cave, Lian Cong sensed them instantly due to the formation. He woke up from his deep sleep. Lu Ming sighed in his heart after hearing that. It was another Martial Emperor De. He couldn't help but think of the 9 Sons Supreme, who had also been killed by Martial Emperor De and only had a wisp of his soul left. The 2 unrivaled heroes had similar endings. You're the Empyrean Heaven Divine Guard of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, right? I can sense the fluctuations of the Divine Guard token on you. Lian Cong looked at Lu Ming. In his eyes, there seemed to be the sun, the moon, and the stars. Lu Ming's heart trembled. Lian Cong and Martial Emperor De were enemies. Would he kill him? A layer of cold sweat seeped out of his back as he thought of this. Xian Yanqing moved and stood in front of Lu Ming. He stared at Lian Cong. Even if he was an emperor, if he wanted to kill Lu Ming, he would have to fight. Haha, this young couple has a good relationship. You're very bold too. I like it. Lian Cong laughed. Xian Yanqing blushed, but he gritted his teeth and stood in front of Lu Ming. Looking at Xian Yanqing's slender back view, Lu Ming's heart was filled with warmth. He took a step forward and held Xian Yanqing's hand, standing side by side with him. Well, the 2 of you are equally talented, a perfect match for each other. Don't worry, you 2 little guys. My grudge with De has nothing to do with anyone else. Besides, although this little guy is Detion's divine guard, I'm afraid he has never even seen De's face. Why would he be implicated? Said Lian Cong with a smile. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing secretly heaved a sigh of relief. To be honest, even a wisp of soul would be extremely terrifying when facing an emperor. The difference was too great. A single breath from an imperial figure could kill them 8 to 10 times over. Senior, if you're not happy, I'll have to go against Martial Emperor De sooner or later. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. You and Martial Emperor De will go against each other? You're just a martial king. What kind of enmity do you have with him? Wait, could it be the one in your body? Lian Song's eyes seemed to be able to see through everything. Buzz! At this moment, Lu Ming's body glowed like the sun. The next moment, a figure appeared and floated in the air. Senior Jiuyang! Lu Ming exclaimed in a low voice. The figure was the Nine Sons Supreme. Junior Jiuyang greets Senior Lian. It has been thousands of years since we last met. The Nine Sons Supreme Master cupped his hands and saluted to Lian Song. Lian Song frowned slightly. Then his eyes lit up. You're Jiuyang? What was going on? From your soul fluctuations, I can tell that you've already reached the supreme level, right? With your heaven-defying bloodline and physique, it wouldn't be easy for an ordinary emperor to take you down. How did you end up like this? 3,000 years ago, before the incident with Lian Song, the Supreme Master of the Nine Sons had just risen to power. He was the most brilliant heaven's favorite of that era. Lian Song had seen him a few times, so he recognized him. Supreme Master Jiuyang revealed a bitter smile on his face and roughly told him about his experience. What? You were also killed by that old man De. That old man De is despicable to the extreme. Lian Song shouted in anger. He had been killed by De. Because they belonged to two different forces, it was normal for them to be in a competitive relationship. However, Supreme Nine Sons was the disciple of Martial Emperor De. He had fought for Martial Emperor De all his life, but now he had ended up like this. How sad was that? It was really a pity. What does De want to do? Does he want to unify the entire Eastern Barren territory? Liao Tsong said. As far as I know, his target is not just the East continent. Supreme Nine Sons said. What? He's so ambitious. Liao Tsong said. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing stood aside and listened quietly. They had heard many secrets from the Nine Sons Supreme and Lian Song. They were not qualified to know these secrets with their cultivation. At this time, Lian Song looked at Lu Ming again. No wonder I felt that this kid's bloodline is extraordinary. He has awakened the Nine-Dragon bloodline. But it will be difficult to fight against De. Now that things have come to this, I can only take one step at a time. Nine Sons Supreme Master sighed. But it's not like there's no chance at all. From what you've said, the Battle of Destiny is coming soon. If the Battle of Destiny goes well, there might be a chance. Lian Song pondered for a while and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, are you willing to be my disciple? Acknowledge a master? Lu Ming was slightly stunned. I can see that you are very talented in the Tao of Inscription. I can teach you everything I have learned in my life. This way, you will have more capital to fight against Martial Emperor De in the future. Liao Tsong said. Lu Ming, why aren't you acknowledging me as your master? He asked. Supreme Master of Nine Sons urged. Disciple Lu Ming greets Master. Lu Ming took a few steps forward and knelt down to pay his respects as a master and disciple. To be able to acknowledge an Imperial Path powerhouse as a master, how could there be any reason for him to be unwilling? This was a great opportunity. Good, ha ha ha. Lian Song laughed. Then, he pointed his finger at Lu Ming's glabella. A ray of light flashed and Lu Ming suddenly felt that something had been added to his mind. As for what it was, he felt that it was a little blurry and couldn't see clearly. My dear disciple, I've already sealed everything I've learned and some of my cultivation experiences into an array. Now, I've inserted it into your mind. You can slowly watch and cultivate in the future. However, there are many layers of seals in that array. With your current cultivation, you can only view things at rank 5 and below. Once you become a rank 6 alchemist, you'll naturally be able to view everything that a rank 6 alchemist has to offer. Lian Song explained. After you leave, you have to think of a way to reorganize the Talisman Amulet sect and merge the two sects into one. We will regain our former glory. Me. Lu Ming was a little confused. How could he have the strength to deal with a behemoth like the Talisman sect? My disciple, since you are my successor and have my token, the Talisman Amulet sect is naturally yours. Once you have the Talisman Amulet sect in your hands, You will have the capital to fight against Martial Emperor De in the future. Liao Tsang said. That's right, Lu Ming. This is also Senior Lien Song's good intention. Supreme Nine Sons said. All right, I promise Master that I'll do my best. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. Indeed, if he could really control the Talisman Amulet sect, he would have the capital to fight against Martial Emperor De. Good, haha, I'm relieved. Originally, with my soul power, I could only hold on for a few years before my soul completely dispersed. I didn't expect that I would finally welcome hope before I die. Haha, the heavens have been kind to me. Lien Tsang laughed. Master! Lu Ming was dejected. It was already unbelievable that a wisp of his soul could last for thousands of years. He knew that Lien Tsang might not be able to last more than a few years. Zhou, there's still hope for you to be resurrected. If you're resurrected in the future, you must help Lu Ming. Liao Tsang said. Of course, but resurrection is easier said than done. Nine Sons Supreme Master sighed. There is always hope in everything. All right, I've explained everything. When this girl wakes up, I'll send you all back to the outside world. Liao Tsang said. Master, what about the other people from the outer realm? Lu Ming asked. As for the others, let them stay in the underground world. With my current strength, I can't send so many people out. Lien Tsang said calmly. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Lien Tsang was an imperial path expert. He was high and mighty. In his eyes, ordinary martial artists were probably like ants. If it wasn't for the fact that he and Xian Yanqing had reached the last stage, which attracted Lien Tsang's attention and made him his disciple, they might have been nothing more than two ants in Lien Tsang's eyes. Master, I want to bring a friend with me, can I? Lu Ming asked. A friend? Of course. Oh well, I'll solve this underground human problem by the way. Lien Tsang waved his hand and Lu Ming felt the world change. The next moment, Lu Ming appeared in the sky outside the Saint Mountain. Outside the Holy Mountain, hundreds of tribes were staring in the direction of the Holy Mountain. Most of the tribes were sighing in sorrow because all of their people had failed. Then, they looked at each other to see which tribe had not come out yet. Lu Ming and Miss Xie have not come out yet. There might be hope. Qi Yu, Qi Jin Kong, and the other members of the Red Leopard tribe clenched their fists and stared in the direction of the Holy Mountain with endless anticipation in their eyes. Guys, look! There's someone in the air! Suddenly, someone shouted. Countless people looked up and saw a figure appear in the sky. He stood in the air and did not land. What's going on? How did this person appear in mid-air? The others were directly bounced back by the formation. This is strange. Which tribe sent this person? Lu Ming's appearance caused a wave of doubtful discussion. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. The people of the Red Leopard tribe were shocked. Did he succeed? Could it be that Lu Ming had also failed? At this moment, the entire Saint Mountain glowed with bright light, illuminating the land within 1,000 miles. A figure appeared in the light. This figure was 10,000 meters tall. He was huge and his body was emitting a qi that was as powerful as the sky. He was none other than Lien Tsang. Ancient Ancestor, the Ancient Ancestor has awakened. It really is the Ancient Ancestor. Countless people from the hundreds of tribes let out excited roars and knelt down on the ground. Reward 1. Even the extraterrestrials felt the same way. The pressure from Lien Tsang was too strong. It was boundless, as if they were facing the universe. In the face of this pressure, the people from the outer realm also knelt down. No one was an exception. This was not a question of whether they were willing to kneel or not, but they had no choice but to kneel. This person is the chosen one. A rumbling voice came out from Lien Tsang's mouth. Countless people's eyes were focused on Lu Ming. This young man was actually the chosen one. Was he the one who had awakened the Ancient Ancestor? Lu Ming, it's really him. It's really him. The people of the Red Leopard tribe were all ecstatic. They were so excited that they were trembling. It was really Lu Ming, and Lu Ming was sent by the Red Leopard tribe. What reward would the Ancient Ancestor give them? They were filled with anticipation. Which tribe sent this chosen one? Lian Song's voice was heard again. It was as if the heavens were talking. His voice was like thunder, reverberating between heaven and earth. It's it's the Sacred Wind Tribe. Before Qi Jinkong could say anything, a loud shout was heard. There was a group of people in that direction. There were more than 1,000 of them, and each of them had a strong aura. They were all rank 6 alchemists above the Sea of Souls realm. It's the Holy Wind Tribe. This time, the Holy Wind Tribe is going to be even stronger. That's right. The Holy Wind Tribe has always been the most powerful tribe with countless experts. Now, the ancient ancestor will definitely reward the destined person. They will become stronger as they grow. In the future, which other tribe will be a match for the Holy Wind Tribe? The other tribes started to discuss. Detestable. The people of the Red Leopard Tribe roared in their hearts. The Sacred Wind Tribe was so shameless that they stole their credit. However, they didn't dare to make a sound. The Holy Wind Tribe was too powerful. If they made a sound and the ancient ancestor didn't punish the Holy Wind Tribe, the Red Leopard Tribe would be in danger. If the Holy Wind Tribe wanted to destroy the Red Leopard Tribe, it would be a piece of cake. Holy Wind Tribe, how dare you lie to me? You must die. Lian Song's rumbling voice resounded. 2 beams of light shot out from his eyes towards the Holy Wind Tribe. Ah, ancient ancestor, please spare me. The people of the Holy Wind Tribe cried out in fear. However, it was all in vain. The 2 beams of light swept past, and the people of the Holy Wind Tribe all disappeared, turning into ashes. Including the extraterrestrials who had come with the Sacred Wind Tribe, they had all disappeared. The 2 gazes both dead. Even though there was only a wisp of Lian Song's soul left and it was about to dissipate, his power was still terrifying. At this moment, everyone present was as silent as cicadas in winter, not even daring to breathe loudly. The Holy Wind Tribe doesn't need to exist in this world. All the tribes should attack it together. Said Lian Song. I will obey the ancient ancestor's decree. Countless tribes responded loudly. With just one sentence from Lian Song, the #1 tribe in the underground world was doomed. I already know that the Red Leopard Tribe is the one who has delivered the heavenly mandate. Now, I will bestow upon you a spiritual cultivation method. As soon as Lian Song finished his words, a jade token flew towards the Red Leopard Tribe. Qi Jinkong received it respectfully and quickly kowtowed. Thank you for your gift, ancient ancestor. He was extremely excited. A spiritual cultivation technique. It was actually a spiritual cultivation technique. This was a priceless treasure. Given time, how many experts could their Red Leopard Tribe produce? In the future, it was possible for them to become the strongest tribe in the underground world. There were so many tribes in the underground world, but none of them had a spiritual cultivation technique. This was the legendary Holy Bible. The other tribes were extremely envious. Some people looked at the jade token in Qi Jinkong's hand with burning eyes. Also, each of these 9 inscription scrolls can kill those above the god level. You can keep them. Lian Song's voice was heard again. The 9 inscription scrolls flew towards Qi Jinkong. Thank you for your gift, ancient ancestor. Qi Jinkong received it and bowed again. With these 9 inscription talismans, he could ensure the safety of the Red Leopard Tribe. Some of the tribes with other thoughts immediately felt their hearts turn cold. It was obvious that the ancient ancestor wanted to protect the Red Leopard Tribe. How could they dare to have any disloyal thoughts? Qi Yu, clan leader Qi, Lu Ming will take his leave now. At this moment, Lu Ming's voice entered Qi Yu and Qi Jinkong's ears. Qi Yu looked up and saw the ancient ancestor wave his hand. Lu Ming's figure disappeared. Qi Yu felt lost and sighed in her heart. She knew that after today's farewell, they might never see each other again. Lu Ming was a heaven's favorite from the outer world. The outer world was so vast, and the underground was only a stop in Lu Ming's journey. At the same time, Lian Song disappeared. Jian Filiu, who was standing in a tribe, also disappeared. The surrounding environment changed. Lu Ming realized that he had returned to the cave. With a flash of light, Lian Song appeared. At the same time, Jian Filiu appeared as well. As soon as Jian Filiu appeared, he retreated hurriedly and put on a vigilant look. He only heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Lu Ming. He looked at Lian Song, Lu Ming, and Xian Yanqing and said, "Brother Lu, what's going on?" "Brother Jian, in a few days, the three of us will go out and return to the outside world. As for other matters, please don't ask too much," Lu Ming said. Jian Filiu was stunned. However, even though he had many doubts in his heart, since Lu Ming said not to ask too much, it most likely involved some of Lu Ming's secrets. Jian Filiu was smart and naturally did not ask too much. For the rest of the time, Lu Ming and Jian Filiu sat cross-legged, waiting for Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's consciousness sank into his mind and he realized that there was a shiny object in his mind. There were layers and layers of formations on it. This was the sealing formation that Liao Tsong had sealed in his mind. It was related to Liao Tsong's Tao of refinement and cultivation experience. Lu Ming controlled the mental energy fire and moved closer to the seal array. The first level of the array was not very strong. It was broken through by the mental energy fire not long after. Lu Ming found himself in an extremely vast space. There were countless Lian Songs sitting cross-legged, explaining the Tao of inscription and their cultivation experience. It was as if there were countless Lian Songs teaching him how to cultivate. He would listen to any one of them. Amazing, truly amazing. Lu Ming sighed. He stopped in front of one of the Lian Songs and started to listen. After this Lian Song explained for a while, he repeated what he had just said. Lu Ming listened to it a few times and felt that he had understood it. He walked to the next Lian Song. In this way, Lu Ming continued to listen to them one by one. These were all Lian Song's knowledge and cultivation experience about the Tao of inscription of level 5 and below. Although Lu Ming had already reached the limit of the 5th level, he realized that he still had many shortcomings after listening to it. His foundation in the Tao of inscription was becoming more and more solid. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. On the 4th day, Xian Yanqing's aura began to rise rapidly. The black cocoon floating above her head began to crack. Lu Ming and Jian Filiu finished their cultivation and looked at Xian Yanqing. Bloodline Nirvana. Return. Kacha. The black cocoon on Xian Yanqing's head cracked open and a dazzling Asilavira light flashed out. It was the light emitted by the chakra. 9. Lu Ming saw 9 Asilavira chakras at one glance. King level 9th rank bloodline. How was that possible? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Jian Filiu was even more shocked. They had fought together before, so they knew that Xian Yanqing's bloodline was a 7th level king tier bloodline. But now, it had become a 9th level king tier bloodline. It was incredible. Not bad, not bad. This bloodline is indeed powerful. I wonder what level the 3rd bloodline is at? Lian Song looked at Xian Yanqing and nodded his head in satisfaction. It seems that the 9-dragon bloodline is not the only wondrous bloodline in the world. Lu Ming sighed. The world was full of wonders. In the past, the place he lived in was too small. When he stepped onto a broader stage, he would definitely see more wonderful things. There were all kinds of bloodlines, and the 9-dragon bloodline was not the only one that could be upgraded. Xian Yanqing's bloodline was able to advance to the 9th level of the king realm through the rebirth of his bloodline. A 9th level king bloodline was the highest level a 2nd bloodline could reach. If one wanted to reach the divine level, they would usually have to go for the 3rd bloodline. After a while, the Asilavira light disappeared and the blood vessels behind Xian Yanqing disappeared into her body. She opened her eyes. "All right now, step onto the altar and I'll send you out," said Lian Song. Jian Filiu and Xian Yanqing walked up to the altar while Lu Ming came to Lian Song and bowed. "Master, disciple will take his leave." "Yes, go. I can't help you in the future. You have to rely on yourself." Liao Tsong nodded. Lu Ming's heart ached. Although he had not spent a long time with Lian Song, Lu Ming had indeed regarded him as his true master. Strictly speaking, this was the first master that Lu Ming had formally acknowledged. Lu Ming knew very well that this farewell might be an eternal farewell. With Lian Song's soul power, he would not be able to last for more than a few years. The emperor of a generation had ended up in such a state. It really made one sigh. Lu Ming bowed again and stepped onto the altar. Lien Song waved his hands and the altar began to shine. Inscriptions appeared and the next moment, the world started to spin. When their surroundings had stabilized, they opened their eyes. With the sea breeze blowing in all directions, they arrived at a small island. This place should be one of the small islands in the chaotic astral ocean. Brother Lu, thank you, miss. Thank you. Jian Filiu cupped his fists at Lu Ming to express his gratitude. This time, only 3 people came out. He knew very well that the others would probably stay underground forever. The only reason he could come out was definitely because of Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. He was extremely grateful. If he was to stay underground forever, it would be worse than death. There's no need to thank me, Brother Jian. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Brother Lu, Miss Xia, what are your plans from now on? Jian Filiu asked. We've come out to train and improve our cultivation. After the Battle of Providence starts, we'll head to the Sky Martial region. Lu Ming said. The Sky Martial region was where the main palace of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace was located. Oh, if that's the case, why don't you return to the Golden Sword sect with me, and then head to the Heavenly King domain? The Heavenly King ranking battle is about to begin. To all peak-tier kings, this is an indispensable opportunity. Jian Filiu said. The Battle of the Heavenly Kings ranking? Lu Ming was stunned. Other than the Battle of Providence, why was there another Battle of the Heavenly Kings list? Brother Lu, you don't know about the Heavenly King ranking battle? Jian Filiu was a bit dumbfounded. Lu Ming shook his head. He really did not know. All right. In the Heavenly King domain, there are 2 Heavenly King steals that open once every 3 years. The Heavenly King steals have a miraculous effect on peak-tier kings, and many people have broken through to the Sea of Soul realm because of them. However, there is a limit to the number of places that can obtain the final opportunity. There are only 108 spots. However, there are countless peak king tiers in the Eastern Barren Territory. Everyone wants these 108 spots, so it triggered a series of fights. This is the battle for the Heavenly King ranking. Now, the Battle of the Heavenly King ranking is not only for the 108 spots, but also for the ranking of the kings. It is a kind of glory to determine the strongest king. Among them, the top 10 on the Heavenly King ranking are known as the 10 Heavenly Kings. Jian Filiu explained in detail. Oh. Lu Ming nodded. He roughly understood. This meant that they had to compete for both the ranking and the opportunity. The Battle of the Heavenly Kings ranking is extremely intense. Since there's no age limit, many old monsters who have cultivated for almost 1,000 years will be dispatched. There are many experts. Those old monsters may have limited potential, but after accumulating for so many years, their combat strength is extremely terrifying. Many geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents are no match for them. Jian Filiu said. All right, we'll go to the Golden Sword sect with you first, then head to the Heavenly King domain. Lu Ming immediately made a decision. His wind, fire, and thunder intent realms were all stuck at the limit of the first level. Perhaps the Battle of the Sky King list would be an opportunity for him to break through. Without breaking through the Spirit Sea, it was almost impossible to stand out in the Battle of Providence. Xian Yanqing nodded as well. Although she had heard of the Heavenly King ranking battle, it was only hearsay. She was also quite curious. Then, the 3 of them rose into the air and flew toward the west. The Golden Light region, where the Golden Sword sect is located to the west of the chaotic astral ocean. After flying for a day, the 3 of them arrived at a large island. They matched the map to their current location. It should be a 10-day journey from the Golden Light region. Let's ride the puppets. With a wave of Lu Ming's hand, a giant snake puppet appeared. This giant snake puppet was 50 meters long and had a combat strength equivalent to the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier. It came from the Een snake tribe. This time, Lu Ming brought quite a number of puppets back. Jian Filiu was shocked when he saw Lu Ming take out the giant serpent puppet and felt the powerful aura it exuded. I didn't expect Brother Lu to be so powerful in both martial arts and inscription. Jian Filiu sighed. To be able to control a puppet that was equivalent to the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm, Lu Ming's mental energy fire was definitely extremely terrifying. Needless to say, He was definitely a true inscription alchemist. At this age, not only was his martial arts so terrifying, but he had also reached such a realm in the Tao of inscription. Jian Filiu wailed in his heart. Was he still human? Lu Ming smiled and did not say much. The giant serpent puppet was very large, and there was a lot of space for the three of them to ride on. Who? The giant snake puppet flapped its wings, and a strong gust of wind blew. They transformed into streaks of light and flew forward. So fast! Lu Ming was slightly shocked. After exiting the ground, he discovered that the speed of the giant snake puppet was many times faster than when it was underground. As expected, its speed was completely suppressed when it was underground. Flying became many times more difficult, and once they were out of the ground, it was as if they were suddenly freed from their shackles and were free to fly in the sky. The giant snake puppet's flying speed was even faster than their flying speed. It was truly equivalent to a 4th-level spiritual ocean tier cultivator hurrying on their way. Meeting the Blood Evil Island team again. The boundless ocean passed by in the blink of an eye. 2 days had passed. Riding on the golems, they could cultivate as they traveled. Yes, there's a battle cry coming from the front. Lu Ming had an idea and the giant snake puppet slowed down. Jian Filiu and Xian Yanqing also stopped their cultivation. It looks like there are pirates trying to kill the caravan. Xian Yanqing said. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the giant snake puppet. He transformed into 3 rays of light and flew forward. Luo Xian was in despair. She watched the people of the Flame Chamber of Commerce die one by one in battle. This time, the Flame Chamber of Commerce had a large amount of valuable goods to transport to the Golden Light region. The goods were very valuable, and the Flame Chamber of Commerce had mobilized almost all their forces. Chen Dao, the strongest expert in the Flame Chamber of Commerce, and Luo Xian's father, Luo Ming, was also a peak-tier king. In addition, there were 2 other peak-tier kings, making it a total of 4 peak-tier kings. Their strength could not be said to be weak. However, the other party was even stronger, because they were the Blood Evil Pirate Group. Yes, it was the Blood Evil Pirate Group again, and this time, all of them were mobilized. What made them despair was that not only did the Blood Evil Pirate Group have 4 peak-tier kings, their leader was even at the 1st level of the Spiritual Ocean tier. They were completely outmatched and had already been surrounded. Bang! The leader of the Blood Fiend Pirates was called Blood Fiend. With one palm, Chen Dao spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated. Yun Sha, we've already agreed to hand over all our goods. Why are you still killing us? Luo Ming roared. He was really unwilling. Why? Hee, last time, my 5th and 6th brothers tried to rob your Flame Chamber of Commerce, but they were killed in the end. During this period of time, I have been investigating the movements of your Flame Chamber of Commerce, intending to avenge my 5th and 6th brothers. I didn't expect to hear the news that all of you are on the move. How can I miss such an opportunity? Bloody Ghost sneered. The killing intent on his body was extremely strong. Luo Xian laughed bitterly. So that was the case. The Blood Fiend Pirates wanted to take revenge for those people. Back then, the 2 peak-tier kings of the Blood Fiend Pirates were killed by Lu Ming. However, in that situation, the Blood Fiend Pirates wanted to annihilate them. Of course, they had to retaliate. She did not blame Lu Ming. She could only say that the Flame Chamber of Commerce was fated to have such a calamity. Little girl, I heard that my 5th brother fell for you and was killed later on. Why didn't you agree to it back then? Why didn't you just agree to my 5th brother's request? You actually dared to resist and even ordered people to kill them. Today, I'll take you down and let my other brothers enjoy you. I'll let you know what regret is. Yun Sha's voice was extremely cold as a venomous snake that was about to choose its prey. Chen Dao, you will bring Xianer to break out of the encirclement. I will block them with all my strength. Luo Ming said to Chen Dao. Father, we can't leave together. Luo Xian shouted. If Luo Ming stayed behind to block them, it would definitely be a dead end. Go, where do you want to go? Today, none of you will be able to leave. The other 4 peak-tier kings of the Blood Fiend Pirates spread out in all directions. There were also many other experts who blocked the other escape routes of the Flame Chamber of Commerce. Also, Who was the murderer who killed my fifth and sixth brothers? Hurry up and tell me so that you won't suffer so much. Xuexia asked coldly. I've told you that the person who killed your fifth and sixth brothers is not from the Flame Chamber of Commerce. He was just passing by. We don't know him, and we don't know where they are now. Luo Xian said. It seems like you're not going to say anything? All right, wait a moment, I'll let you say it. Xuexia's eyes turned even colder, and the aura from his body burst out. The aura of the spiritual ocean tier was like a vast ocean, spreading towards the Flame Chamber of Commerce's people. Killing in 3 moves. Let's go. The 2 peak tier kings turned around and ran without hesitation. It was too terrifying. If he didn't run, he would die. However, one of them suddenly turned into a cloud of blood mist with a bang in the process of running. As for the other one, it suddenly split into 2 while it was running. The 4 peak tier kings were all dead. Now it's your turn. A powerful aura rose from Lu Ming's body and enveloped the blood fiend. Yun Sha's pupils contracted sharply. The strength displayed by Jian Filiu and Xian Yanqing had shocked him. You think you can kill me? No matter how strong a peak king tier is, he's still a peak king tier. I'll let you all know how strong a spiritual ocean tier warrior is. Bloody Ghost's body emitted a thick blood-colored mist. His eyes turned red, and so did his hands. Blood hand. Die. Yun Sha stepped forward and struck a palm at Lu Ming. The smell of blood filled the air, and it was filled with a smell of corrosion. Even the air was emitting terrifying crackling sounds. Middle first level of the spiritual ocean tier, perfect to test out the power of the prison-suppressing heavenly technique. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. His war dragon true energy howled violently as he struck out with his palm like a heavenly blade. It was as if a divine monument had been condensed in this palm, suppressing everything. Bang! Lu Ming's palm and Blood Fiend's palm collided with each other, producing a dull sound. In the next moment, everyone saw a figure retreating madly, blood spurting out of his mouth. This person was Xuexia. At that moment, Yun Sha's palm had already become mush. His eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. How can he be so strong? How can he be so strong? Yun Sha roared in shock. He felt as if an ancient divine mountain had crashed into him with Lu Ming's palm just now. His internal organs were all injured and his body felt like it was about to crack. Spiritual ocean tier? I've already seen it, so let's go. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps and his body was like a stream of light. He appeared in front of Blood Fiend in an instant and struck him with his palm again. Boom! This time, Bloody Ghost was forced back thousands of meters. His arms exploded and turned into ashes. Not only that, a big hole was blown in his chest, and his whole body was distorted. If it wasn't for his profound cultivation and powerful body, he would have died. Spare me! He shouted in horror. Don't kill me! What welcomed him was a spear light. The dazzling spear light pierced through the void and pierced through Bloody Ghost's heart. Bloody Ghost, dead. Everyone present was stunned. 3 moves. In just 3 moves, he had killed a Sea of Soul Realm expert. Was he still a peak tier king? It was truly terrifying. Luo Xian, Luo Ming, and the rest were also shocked. Lu Ming's combat strength had improved and become stronger compared to when he was on Golden Sand Island. We're both peak tier king tiers, but I'm far too inferior. Chen Dao shook his head with a bitter smile. The prison-suppressing heavenly art is indeed a demigod-level bloodline martial technique. It's really powerful, but the amount of true yuan it consumes is also shocking. Lu Ming smiled and devoured Blood Fiend's storage ring and blood essence. I'll leave these people to you. Shao Qing, Brother Jian, let's go. The first sentence was directed at the Flame Chamber of Commerce, and the second sentence was directed at Xian Yanqing and Jian Filiu. The strongest few had been killed, and the rest of the Blood Fiend pirates were left to the Flame Chamber of Commerce. After all, the Flame Chamber of Commerce still had 4 peak tier kings. They would definitely take this opportunity to annihilate the Blood Fiend pirates. Lu Ming and the other two soared into the sky. Jian Filiu then looked at Xian Yanqing. Although Xian Yanqing didn't reveal much, he gave him a feeling of unfathomability. He estimated that if they really fought, he wouldn't be a match. The most shocking thing was that Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming's will of heaven and earth were still at level 1. If their will of heaven and earth broke through to level 2, how terrifying would that be? If the two of them break through to the second level of the essence realm of heaven and earth, they will be able to compete with those freaks on the Heavenly King ranking. Jian Filiu was moved. Although he was ranked 788th on the list of top 1,000 talents, there were many peak-tier kings who were more powerful than him. That was because the list of top 1,000 talents only listed those below 30 years old, while the list of heavenly kings had no age limit. The top 600 on the list of top 1,000 talents were almost all at the spiritual ocean tier and above. Only the last 10 heavenly kings had been able to rank in the top 600 with their king's realm cultivation. It was a terrifying feat. Therefore, there were nearly 200 heaven's favorites on the list of top 1,000 talents who were stronger than him. There were also many powerful older king tiers. Therefore, there were many peak-tier king tiers who were stronger than him. After all, the Eastern Barren Territory was too big, and there were too many peak-tier kings. I need to quickly upgrade my Earth Will to the completion of level 1. Otherwise, I won't be able to exert much power. Lu Ming pondered in his heart. There was still a huge difference between the Earth concept and the other 3 concepts. Once the Earth concept was similar to the other 3 concepts, the power of the fusion of the 4 concepts would be terrifying. Lu Ming's combat strength would also increase by a notch. The giant snake puppet was very fast. After another 3 days, they arrived at the Golden Light region, which was twice as fast as they had expected. After reaching the Golden Light region, they continued to fly. After another 3 days, they arrived at the Golden Sword sect. The Golden Sword sect was too majestic. It was more magnificent and powerful than any sect Lu Ming had ever seen. The Golden Sword sect was the #1 sect in the Golden Light region. Although it was a subsidiary sect of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, the Golden Sword sect's authority in the Golden Light region was as great as the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's. From this one could see its strength. Furthermore, the Golden Sword sect also had an inter-province transportation array that could transport one to other large regions. They were going to take the Gold Sword sect's interdomain teleportation array to head to the Heavenly King domain. Jian Filiu's status in the Golden Sword sect was very high. He was the #1 genius of the Golden Sword sect. After returning, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were naturally treated with great hospitality. Brother Lu, Miss Xia, you might have to stay in the Golden Sword sect for 2 days. This time, the Golden Sword sect will be sending out a group of peak-tier kings to compete for the Heavenly King ranking. Jian Filiu brought Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing to an elegant courtyard and told them, "It's fine. Could it be that this time, all the peak-tier kings in the Eastern Barren Territory will be gathered?" Lu Ming smiled. Gathering all the peak-tier kings is naturally a little exaggerated. However, most of the peak-tier kings with profound strength should be participating. Of course, this refers to humans. The demon race of the Sky Demon Valley will not participate. The Talisman sect will also not participate. Jian Filiu said. Why is the Talisman Amulet sect not participating? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He was somewhat curious. That's because the Heavenly King ranking only focuses on martial arts. Gathering of experts. 2 days later, the Gold Sword sect sent 29 peak-tier kings to the Heavenly King domain. Including Jian Filiu, there were 30 people. Among them, there were some who were very old, and some who were in their 30s. The oldest were the 2 old kings who were close to 1,000 years old. Seeing that their time was almost up, they wanted to try their luck. If they were lucky, they might be able to break through to the Sea of Soul realm. That way, their lifespans would increase by 1,000 years. Including Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing, there were a total of 32 people. They stepped onto the inter-province transportation portal and headed to the Heavenly King domain. The Heavenly King domain was a very special region in the Eastern Barren Territory. It was because the Heavenly King domain was very small, only 1/10 of the size of the Tianxian domain. It was the smallest domain in the Eastern Barren Territory, and it lacked resources. There were almost no powerful forces here. Moreover, it was located at the border between the Empyrean Heavenly Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect. Therefore, this was a no-man's land. Neither of the two overlord forces had occupied it. However, it didn't affect his reputation in the Eastern Barren Territory. He was the Heavenly King Tablet. The two pieces of the Heavenly King Tablet were located in the Heavenly King domain. Every 3 years, the Heavenly King Monument would open, and the Heavenly King ranking competition would be held there. Countless peak kings would gather there. More than a dozen big cities were built around the stele of Heavenly King. These big cities usually had almost no people, but once the Heavenly King Monument was opened, they would be packed with people. So many people. Looking at the city in front of him, people were coming and going, flying here and there. Lu Ming was a little shocked. This was because any one of these people was a peak-tier king. All the peak-tier kings of the East Continent, except for the Sky Demon Valley and the Talisman Amulet sect, have come. This time, there are at least hundreds of thousands of peak-tier kings. Jian Filiu said. Lu Ming sighed. Then, everyone flew toward a big city. After flying into the city, the group landed on a street and looked for an inn to stay in. It was full. Everyone looked for 2 houses in a row, and they were all full. It was only at the 3rd house that there was an empty room. Brother Lu, let's go out for a walk and find a place to have a few drinks. After the guest room was arranged, Jian Filiu went to look for Lu Ming. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He found Xian Yanqing and the 3 of them walked out. In the Gold Sword sex group, only the 3 of them were young. The others were the youngest, already over 30 years old. They did not have any common topics to talk about, and it was still the 3 of them who were closer. This small city was quite wide, but the streets were still full of people. There were fewer young people and more older ones. Each of them had a strong aura and were powerful. One look and one could tell they were experts. The 3 of them strolled around for a while and then walked into a restaurant. They ordered some food and wine, and as they ate, they listened to the conversations of the people around them to see if they could obtain some information. It's really too lively these 2 days. There are so many experts. With so many people fighting for the last 108 spots, the competition will be extremely fierce. This year will be even more brutal. In the past, the top 10 places were usually taken by young geniuses. The rest of the places were usually split equally between the young and the older generation. But this year is different. Many terrifying young geniuses have emerged, and they are all extremely powerful. That's right. All of a sudden, a young man slammed the table. His eyes were like lightning as he looked at another table and said coldly, "You're just a frog in a well. What do you know about the matters of the heavens' pride?" This young man was tall and burly, with strong muscles and a powerful aura. One look and one could tell that he was an expert. 3 young men in gray robes were sitting at another table. They were the ones who had said that the last few on the list of top 1,000 talents would be expelled. Hee, what's wrong? Did I say something wrong? One of the young men sneered. If you're not on the list of top 1,000 talents, how do you know how powerful they are? The tall and burly youth sneered. Oh, so you're a heaven's favorite on the list of top 1,000 talents? The gray-robed young man smiled faintly. I am Gao Chong. The burly young man said arrogantly. As soon as he said that, the other people in the restaurant were moved. Gao Chong was ranked last on the list of top 1,000 talents. However, no matter where he ranked, he was still a heaven's favorite on the list of top 1,000 talents. His strength and talent were absolutely amazing. Oh, so it's Gao Chong, who's at the bottom of the list of top 1,000 talents. Hee, a beauty like you should have been eliminated long ago. The gray-robed young man was not surprised at all after hearing this. Instead, he revealed a faint mocking expression. In that case, you're very strong. I'd like to experience it. Gao Chong stood up, his eyes were cold, and the aura on his body became violent, like a fierce beast. You want to fight? Fine. Today, I'll let you know how useless you are. The gray-robed young man sneered and stood up as well, his body exuding a cold aura. Let's go out and fight. After Gao Chong finished speaking, he rushed out of the restaurant and flew into the sky. Two senior brothers, wait for me to come back and continue drinking. The gray-robed youth laughed. He then rushed out of the restaurant and flew into the sky. The other people in the restaurant flew out one after another, watching the battle with interest. After all, one of them was on the list of top 1,000 talents. Even if he was ranked last, his combat strength was definitely not weak. Who was that gray-robed young man? With such strong self-confidence, it seemed that Gao Chong was nothing in his eyes. The other people in the surroundings also gathered around. That's Gao Chong. Someone recognized Gao Chong. In an instant, a large number of people gathered in all directions. Let's see what kind of ability you have to dare to speak such arrogant words. The aura on Gao Chong's body was getting more and more terrifying. He was like an immemorial vicious beast that was choosing people to eat. Boom! Boom! He took a step forward, and the space rumbled as terrifying energy wreaked havoc. Mad Beast Fist! Gao Chong threw out a punch, and a beast's roar sounded, shaking the heaven and earth. Small tricks! The gray-robed young man sneered. Layers of black mist emanated from his body. The black mist twisted and turned, and a shrill ghostly wail was heard. The gray-robed young man grabbed out with his claw. In the void, a black river appeared, and within it, there was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Bang! Gao Chong's fist and the gray-robed young man's claw collided. Suddenly, a terrifying force raged. Gao Chong's expression changed drastically. He stepped in the air and retreated continuously. The crowd was shocked. Gao Chong, a genius on the list of top 1,000 talents, was actually at a disadvantage after one move. How was this possible? Gao Chong seemed to be unable to bear this result. With a loud roar, a huge fierce beast appeared above his head. The name of this fierce beast was unknown, but its whole body was covered with scales. It was filled with a fiendish qi and looked extremely ferocious. Chapter 725 Old Acquaintance. What's the use of a bloodline eruption? The Yellow Spring Claw. The gray-robed young man struck out with his claw again. A terrifying river wound around his arm, and the world was filled with ghostly wails and wolf howls. It was extremely terrifying. Gao Chong let out a furious roar and rushed forward. His energy was unrestrained, and the terrifying fist radiance caused the void to tremble continuously. Bang! Bang! A loud boom resounded, but after just a few moves, Gao Chong was forced to retreat. His entire body was covered in a layer of black mist, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Gao Chong was defeated. He was not a match at all. On the other hand, the other party seemed to be very relaxed. It was unknown how much strength he had used. It was obvious that the difference was too great. Who are you? Gao Chong roared unwillingly. Ghost 9 of the Heavenly Corpse Sect. The gray-robed young man replied indifferently. It's the genius of the Heavenly Corpse Sect, Gui Jiu. I've never heard of him. He must be a new genius. As expected, there are more and more geniuses nowadays. Many people in the surroundings sighed. So this is your strength. How disappointing. Trash like you should have been removed from the list of top 1,000 talents long ago. Ghost 9 sneered, then stepped out and returned to the restaurant. It's actually a genius from the Heavenly Corpse Sect. The cultivation technique of the Heavenly Corpse Sect is extremely strange. It's not something that ordinary people can resist. Lu Ming said. In the past, when he was in the Tianxian region, the people from the Heavenly Corpse Sect that he encountered all controlled refined corpses and fought with them, so their own combat strength was not strong. Later on, when he met Shui Gang in the chaotic astral ocean, he discovered that the members of the Heavenly Corpse Sect did not necessarily rely on corpse refinement alone. There were also some who did not rely on corpse refinement, but the martial arts they practiced and the intent domains they comprehended were all extremely strange and powerful. It was not without reason that the Heavenly Corpse Sect was able to rise up in such a short period of time and contend against the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. The speaker didn't mean it, but the listener took note of it. This sentence was heard by Gao Chong. His eyes turned cold as he took a step forward and walked towards Lu Ming. Kid, what did you say? Not something that ordinary people can resist? In that case, you're not an ordinary person. I'd like to experience it. Gao Chong had just been defeated by Ghost 9 and felt embarrassed. He was feeling extremely unhappy. He happened to hear Lu Ming say that the Sky Corp's sex cultivation technique was not something that ordinary people could resist. Did that mean that he, Gao Chong, was an ordinary person? He was powerful. As a heaven's favorite on the list of top 1,000 talents, he had always been proud and arrogant. But today, he had been easily defeated by Gui Zhou, and then he was called an ordinary person by a kid who came out of nowhere. He was so angry that he couldn't control himself. He wanted to get back some face from Lu Ming. Lu Ming was speechless. He had only made an objective comment and he was targeted. Brother Gao, I'm not talking about you. Many people do have a headache when they encounter the strange cultivation technique of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Lu Ming explained. Shut up. Who do you think you are? Are you even worthy of being my brother? Also, do you mean that many geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents are no match for Gui Zhou, but you are? Gao Chong berated and asked Lu Ming. Lu Ming frowned. Was Gao Chong sick? Gao Chong, I advise you to get lost. Don't be so shameless. Jian Filiu shouted coldly and his face looked terrible. Their argument aroused the curiosity of the others, and they all looked over. Who are these young people? It seems Gao Chong is going to get back his face from them. Don't kick an iron plate again. Someone sneered. How can it be that easy? Gao Chong is still very strong. How could he be so unlucky to kick an iron plate so easily? The people at the side were discussing and watching with interest. After being scolded by Jian Filiu, Gao Chong's face turned even colder. His eyes were like a ferocious beast as he looked at Jian Filiu and said, Brat, I'm going to cripple one of your arms today just because of your words. Boom! His powerful chi was violent as he punched at Jian Filiu. Jian Filiu's eyes turned cold. Golden light bloomed from his eyes. He put his fingers together like a sword and slashed out. A golden sword light flashed, as if it could cut through everything. The powerful fist light was cut in half like tofu. The sword light did not stop and continued to cut towards Gao Chong's arm. Gao Chong's face turned pale with fright as he retreated frantically. At the same time, his bloodline burst out, causing his body to swell up rapidly and his aura to become even stronger. Slash! Jian Filiu's eyes turned golden and his body was as sharp as a sword. Whoosh! The golden sword light burst out and cut through the void in an instant. Then, a shrill scream was heard. Everyone saw Gao Chong retreating madly, and one of his arms had already disappeared. Just now, Gao Chong said that he wanted to cripple one of Jian Filiu's arms. Now, Jian Filiu had cut off his arm with one sword. Crushing, completely crushing. Who are you? Gao Chong roared madly. He circulated his Zhan Yuan and sealed his wound, preventing it from bleeding. His eyes were bloodshot. It was too tragic. One of his arms had been cut off, and his vitality was greatly damaged. It was destined that he would not be able to compete with the other geniuses. He was angry, he was unwilling. Jian Filiu. Jian Filiu reported his name. Jian Filiu. It's Jian Filiu. He's ranked 788th on the list of top 1,000 talents. He's a few hundred places higher than Gao Chong. The gap is huge. No wonder it's so one-sided. He actually met Jian Filiu. This Gao Chong is really unlucky. First, he met the genius of the Heavenly Corpse sect, and now, he has to face Jian Filiu. It's all because he's too arrogant. He thought that he was in his palm-sized place. What is this place? Powerhouses are gathering in the Heavenly King domain now. Isn't he looking for death by being so arrogant? That's true. Who are those two young men? To be able to stand next to Jian Filiu, I'm afraid he must have had a good start. Is he also a top talent on the list of top 1,000 talents? Even if he's not on the list of top 1,000 talents, he's still extraordinary. The crowd was in a heated discussion. Jian Filiu, fine, I admit defeat. Gao Chong bellowed like an injured wild beast. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he looked at Lu Ming. It was all his fault. If not for Lu Ming's words, he would not have found Lu Ming and offended Jian Filiu. It was all Lu Ming's fault. If not for Jian Filiu, he would have killed Lu Ming right then and there. Lu Ming! At this moment, a long howl was heard, and a few beams of light flew over. The light dissipated, and a few figures appeared. Qin Qingfei? Qin Qingshan? Lu Ming was taken aback. He did not expect to meet Qin Qingfei and Qin Qingshan here, and behind them was an old man. Lu Ming, I didn't expect to meet you here. Haha, it's time to settle our scores. Qin Qingfei sneered. The aura on his body was powerful. Clearly, after this period of time, Qin Qingfei's cultivation had also broken into the peak realm. With just a piece of trash like you. Lu Ming glanced at him and said in disdain. What did you just say? Don't think that you can be arrogant just because you have some strength. Let me tell you, there are many people who can suppress you. Let's see who can save you today. Qin Qingfei laughed coldly. Oh really? That's good. I'm also going to settle the score with you that day. Lu Ming stepped out, his gaze turning cold. As weak as a chick. Lu Ming could still clearly remember that back in the Hong domain, Qin Qingfei and Qin Qingshan had repeatedly targeted him. If it wasn't for Yan Kuangtu's appearance, he might not have been able to return to the Tianxian region and make it in time for Mulan's wedding with the sacred constellation. Originally, since this matter was already in the past, Lu Ming did not have the time to go to the Hong domain to find trouble with Qin Qingfei and the others. However, he did not expect that the two of them would take the initiative to jump in front of Lu Ming and make a fuss. Lu Ming naturally had to settle the score. Seeing Lu Ming step out, Qin Qingfei's expression changed drastically. He could not help but take a step back. Back then, Lu Ming could compete with Qin Qingshan, but he was not. Lu Ming, I'm your opponent. Qin Qingshan took a step forward, his aura erupting as he stood face to face with Lu Ming. Lu Ming, we didn't have a clear winner in the battle back then. Let's see who's better today. Qin Qingshan's eyes revealed a strong desire to fight. It's really lively today. The people around them watched excitedly. At this moment, someone had recognized Qin Qingshan. Naturally, the interest of the surrounding people was high. Today, Gao Chong, the last heaven's favorite on the list of top 1,000 talents, Jian Filiu, and now, Qin Qingshan, the other one, appeared. Qin Qingshan's ranking was one rank higher than Gao Chong's. Hee, looks like I don't need to make a move. I want to see just how much this kid is worth, to dare to speak such arrogant words. Gao Chong sneered in his heart. Make your move. Use all your strength. I'll give you 2 chances. Lu Ming said indifferently. It was obvious that Lu Ming would only give him 2 chances to make a move. He would have no more chances to make a move after that. Self-confidence and arrogance. What big words! Qin Qingshan shouted coldly as the aura on his body exploded. This aura was extremely cold and seemed to be able to freeze everything. Many ice crystals appeared in the air and even the air itself was frozen. Qin Qingshan's body became transparent, and even his hair turned snow white. Qin Qingshan seemed to have turned into an iceman, his aura growing stronger and stronger. This was Qin Qingshan's bloodline secret skill. Facing Lu Ming, he did not dare to be careless. As soon as he made his move, he used his ultimate skill. Slash! Dang! Qin Qingshan shouted and slashed out a vast blade light. The blade light broke the sky and was extremely cold as it slashed toward Lu Ming's head. The aura he revealed was much stronger than Gao Chong's. Many people's pupils shrank. Qin Qingshan's combat strength was extremely strong. He had made great progress in the past few years. With his current combat strength, he might not only be ranked at the 999th place. Boom! Lu Ming stood still in the void. Just as the saber ray was about to land, Lu Ming threw a punch. A dazzling fist radiance pierced through the void and collided with the saber radiance. With a loud bang, the saber radiance was shattered. Not bad, you've improved a little, but is that all? It's too far off. Lu Ming said calmly, his tone calm as if he had just done something insignificant. Qin Qingshan's pupils contracted sharply. There was disbelief in his eyes. Lu Ming had actually broken through his attack so easily. How could he be so strong? Take another move. Qin Qingshan let out a long howl. His eyes turned snow-white, and his true essence burst out crazily. The cold air around him kept shrinking. Whoosh! Qin Qingshan became one with his blade, turning into a blade of ice. It was as if there was only a blade light left in the world. So strong, quickly retreat. The surrounding people quickly retreated to avoid being hurt by the wanton cold blade light. However, Lu Ming still stood calmly in the air. When the saber ray approached him, he still threw a punch. When the fist light was released, the saber light was shattered. Qin Qingshan retreated in disbelief. Qin Qingshan, although you're much stronger than Gao Chang, you're still far from him. A faint voice came out of Lu Ming's mouth. Then, a vast spear light burst out from Lu Ming's hand and smashed toward Qin Qingshan. This spear's light was unstoppable. It had completely locked onto Qin Qingshan. Boom! It was as if Qin Qingshan had been hit by a divine mountain. He was blasted to the ground, creating a huge pit on the street below. If it wasn't for the experts below who acted in time to protect them, half of the city would have been razed to the ground. Qin Qingshan had been defeated. He had been defeated so thoroughly and so easily. Before he started, Lu Ming told him to show off his strength and that he only had 2 chances. Previously, some people thought that Lu Ming was too arrogant, but the facts proved that Lu Ming was telling the truth. Once he made a move, Qin Qingshan would not have the chance to make a move. Many people around them were guessing who Lu Ming was. He was so powerful that even Qin Qingshan, who was on the list of top 1,000 talents, was unable to fight back. There are too many new talents. Those who ranked below 900th in the last list are in danger. There's a high chance that they'll be squeezed out of the list, especially the last few. Not to mention the 900th place, even the 800th place might be squeezed out if they don't improve quickly. Many people in the surroundings were discussing in shock. Gao Chang looked at Lu Ming, dumbfounded, his face pale. Earlier, he actually wanted to teach Lu Ming a lesson. With his strength, was he not courting death? When he thought of this, his heart trembled. Perverts, they're all perverts. Gao Chang roared helplessly in his heart. He was too unlucky today. In his big domain, he was invincible among the younger generation, which made his self-confidence extremely inflated. He was even brooding over the fact that he was ranked last on the list of top 1,000 talents. He thought that with his talent, he could at least be ranked in the top hundreds. But today, reality had given him a heavy blow. Any random young man on the list of top 1,000 talents would be more powerful than him. At this moment, he was dejected. Qin Qingfei, who was standing at the side, was also dumbfounded. In his mind, his big brother had always been powerful and invincible. However, he was as weak as a baby in Lu Ming's hands. How was this possible? 7 to 8 months ago, Lu Ming was still suppressed by his brother. How did he become so powerful now? Buzz! Suddenly, a figure moved and appeared in front of him. It was Lu Ming. Arg, what do you want? Qin Qingshan screamed in fear. It's very simple. I'll take one of your arms and we'll be even. Lu Ming said indifferently. Don't! Qin Qingfei shrieked and retreated rapidly. Don't hurt young Master Qingfei. The elder behind Qin Qingfei bellowed. His essential core burst out and a terrifying attack poured down on Lu Ming like a storm. This old man was also a peak-tier king, but his battle power was extremely strong. He was definitely an old man who had cultivated for more than 500 years. He had come to participate in the Heavenly King ranking battle. Get lost! Lu Ming did not even look at him. He kicked out and the power of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps exploded, instantly crushing all of the elder's attacks. The elder screamed in pain and his body flew far away, coughing up blood. The crowd was even more shocked. Lu Ming was too strong. That old man's combat strength was definitely not weaker than Qin Qingshan's. But in front of Lu Ming, he was like a little chick without the ability to resist. The difference was too great. Slash! Lu Ming's fingers were like a sword, slashing out. A scream was heard and one of Qin Qingfei's arms flew out. The Wang clan. Qin Qingfei let out a hysterical scream. Get lost! Lu Ming shouted coldly. Immediately, Qin Qingfei didn't dare to cry out. He endured the pain and left with Qin Qingshan. He came with an overbearing aura and left in a sorry state. Looking at the shocked gazes around him, Lu Ming was extremely calm. Defeating Qin Qingshan was not a big deal. In his heart, he had long since stopped treating Qin Qingshan as an opponent. The opponents in his heart were those king tiers who were ranked at the top of the list of top 1,000 talents, and even those 10 heavenly kings who had rushed into the top 600 with their king tier cultivation, and were on par with many Sea of Soul Realm Heaven's favorites. That was his true opponent. He turned around and strolled back. Brother Jian, let's go in and continue drinking. Lu Ming said, but Jian Filiu did not respond. He was slightly stunned and looked at Jian Filiu. Jian Filiu was looking in a direction with a blank look. Lu Ming followed Jian Filiu's gaze and saw a few figures. One of them was a tall young man in a red-scaled armor, and the other was a young woman who was extremely beautiful. Behind the two of them were two elders. Jian Filiu just fixed his eyes on the girl. However, the girl just lowered her head as if she dared not raise her head. Pa! Pa! The young man in the scale armor clapped his hands and strolled toward Lu Ming and the rest. He smiled and said, I didn't expect to meet such an expert here. Not bad, not bad. Isn't this brother Jian? Wang Mang. Jian Filiu looked at the young man and said in a low voice. Haha, Jian Filiu, what's the matter? You're also here to participate in the Heavenly King ranking battle? With your cultivation, be careful not to die here. The corners of Wang Mang's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a hint of mockery. You don't need to care if I'm alive or dead, do you? Brother Lu, let's go. Jian Filiu said as he turned around to leave. Haha, Jian Filiu, why don't you greet your junior sister apprentice? Wang Mang laughed heartily. His strong arms wrapped around the beautiful woman beside him. The woman's body trembled, but she didn't dare to resist. Jian Filiu's body trembled slightly and he clenched his fists. Haha, Jian Filiu. I told you that as long as I like your junior sister, she will be mine. Now, she has become my wife. Speaking of which, your junior sister's body and skin are really comfortable. Wang Mang laughed heartily. The woman's body trembled, but she lowered her head and didn't make a sound. Giggle. Jian Filiu clenched his fists tightly. His eyes were red and his teeth were clenched. What's wrong? If you want to hit me, then why aren't you attacking? You're really useless. Wang Mang shouted coldly. Jian Filiu's breathing became heavy. At the side, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's eyes turned cold and a powerful aura emanated from their bodies. Brother Lu, Monsieur, let's go. Jian Filiu said. His voice was hoarse and it seemed to be filled with endless anger. Lu Ming frowned. He felt that the situation seemed to be very complicated. He didn't understand the situation, and it was indeed inconvenient for him to make a move. Jian Filiu took another look at the woman, then turned around and strode away. Let's go. Lu Ming said to Xian Yanqing, then turned to leave. You're really a piece of trash. Wang Mang's disdainful voice could be heard from behind. The three of them didn't return to the restaurant, but went straight to the inn. On the way, Jian Filiu didn't make a sound. His eyes were red and his fists were clenched. After returning to the inn, Jian Filiu opened his mouth. Brother Lu, Monsieur, aren't you curious why I didn't make a move just now? Jian Filiu said. Wang Mang. I remember that the person ranked 700th on the list of top 1,000 talents is called Wang Mang. Could it be him? Lu Ming said. Jian Filiu nodded and said, That's him. But I didn't do anything. It's not because he's ranked higher than me. It's because he's an ancient family. He's the direct descendant of the Wang family. Wang clan? The Wang family, one of the 6 great ancient families? Lu Ming frowned. That's right. Jian Filiu nodded and then sighed. The strength of the 6 great ancient clans is too terrifying. I'm not afraid, but I have to think for the Golden Sword sect. Furthermore, I have to think for my junior. Are the 6 great ancient families really that powerful? Lu Ming said. Of course it's powerful. Lu Ming, I think you should learn more. Don't you know some common knowledge? Xian Yanqing rolled his eyes at Lu Ming. Lu Ming touched his nose in embarrassment. Monsieur is right. The 6 great ancient aristocratic families have astonishing strength. Back then, when Martial Emperor De founded the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, there were a total of 9 great aristocratic families. They followed Martial Emperor De to conquer the world. These 9 great aristocratic families were called the 9 great ancient aristocratic families. Each ancient family has an amazing inheritance and talent. Later, each family was given a divine-level cultivation technique by Martial Emperor De as a family protection cultivation technique. Since then, the 9 ancient families have become more powerful. As time passed, 3 of them disappeared, and there are only 6 left. These 6 ancient families can be said to be the most powerful forces in the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. They are all located in 9 dragons of the Sky Martial region. Their strength is not something that those sub-palaces in the major regions can compare with. The difference is too great. Jian Filiu explained. He actually has a god-grade cultivation technique? Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. That's right. It's said that the ancient clans' deity-tier cultivation techniques complement their bloodlines, and their power is extremely terrifying. For example, my Golden Sword sect can be said to be extremely powerful in the Golden Light region. We can cover the sky with one hand and have peak-stage spirit embryo experts. However, compared to the ancient clans, we're still far too inferior. Every ancient clan has many powerful spiritual god realm existences. Jian Filiu sighed. Lu Ming nodded. That was indeed the case. An ancient family like that could annihilate the Golden Sword sect with just one spiritual god realm powerhouse. What's with that woman? Lu Ming asked curiously. Jian Filiu didn't answer. He seemed to be lost in thought. If Brother Jian doesn't want to answer, then forget it. Lu Ming said. AI. It's nothing much. That woman was originally my junior sister, and we were childhood sweethearts. Once when we went out to train, we met Wang Mang. Wang Mang took a fancy to my junior sister at first sight, and later sent someone from the Wang family to the Golden Sword sect to propose marriage. The Wang family is a behemoth, so some of the elders in the Golden Sword sect were naturally willing to marry her. What's laughable is that my junior sister was also willing. Hee hee. After Jian Filiu finished, he laughed at himself. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's gazes flickered, but they did not say anything else. Jian Filiu's words were simple, but the two could roughly guess it. Lu Ming could not help but think of Lu Yao. Back then, didn't Lu Yao do the same? In order to climb up to a stronger power, she had abandoned him. Such things did not only happen to Lu Ming. In this world of martial arts where the strong preyed on the weak, such things happened everywhere. There's no need to be too afraid. When the battle for karmic luck begins, there are rules everywhere. When the younger generation fights, the older generation is usually not allowed to interfere. Even if we kill that Wang Mang, the elders of the Wang family are not allowed to interfere. Xian Yanqing's eyes turned cold. She rolled up her sleeves and saw that her arms were covered with dense scars. Those scars were all from the whip. That beast tormented me every day, whipped me, and left wounds on my body. He doesn't even allow me to use my energy to heal my injuries. I can't take it anymore. I want to leave him. Senior brother, I want to leave him. I shouldn't have agreed to it. I shouldn't have agreed. The woman continued to cry, and her tears continued to flow. Beast, beast. Jian Filiu let out a beast-like roar. Not good. On the roof, Lu Ming's gaze suddenly shifted. Not far away, a few streaks of light were flying towards them at high speed. Swordsman, you dare to meet your old lover behind my back? You're looking for death. An angry roar reverberated in the world. The next moment, 3 figures landed in the alley. Wang Mang. The woman screamed and her face turned pale. Jian Filiu, how dare you touch my woman? You must die today. A cold killing intent flashed across Wang Mang's eyes. His body was covered in purple flames, and the temperature was terrifyingly high. The walls of the house and the floor under his feet were directly vaporized. The temperature was so high that it could even vaporize solid rocks. Sky-burning flames. Jian Filiu's pupils contracted sharply. The sky-burning flame technique was a god-level cultivation technique, the ultimate technique of the Wang family, one of the 6 great ancient families. Thump! Wang Mang stepped out and leaped towards Jian Filiu. A halberd formed from flames appeared in his hand and he slashed down at Jian Filiu. Buzz! Jian Filiu's eyes turned golden as a golden sword appeared in his hand. A golden sword light cut through the night as if it could split the dark sky. However, it couldn't split Wang Mang's halberd. Boom! The terrifying temperature burned everything. A deep pit appeared on the ground. It was vaporized by the flames. A stream of golden and purple qi shot up into the sky and into the clouds. Ta! Jian Filiu retreated quickly. His body glowed with golden light to resist the terrifying temperature. What's going on? There's a huge battle going on. What a terrifying commotion. Nearby, countless people were alarmed and flew over. Suddenly, figures appeared in all directions. That's the sky-burning flame technique. He's the Wang family's heaven's favorite. Wang Mang, it's Wang Mang. He's ranked 700th on the list of top 1,000 talents. The other person seems to be Jian Filiu. He's going up against Wang Mang. Some people recognized the two and were quite shocked. Jian Filiu, is this all you have? I'm so disappointed. Wang Mang's entire body glowed with purple flames, making him look like a fire god. The terrifying temperature spread in all directions, and even the air was burning. The place where Wang Mang stood became a vacuum. He took another step forward and the flaming halberd cut through the night sky towards Jian Filiu. The golden light on Jian Filiu's body was almost solid. It turned into a golden armor. He put it on and a golden sword light burst out again. But this time, Jian Filiu retreated even further. The golden light on his body trembled as if it was going to collapse. Buzz! Buzz! The 2 old men who had come with Wang Mang appeared beside the woman. One of them grabbed the woman's shoulder. Senior brother! The woman shouted. Bitch! I'll let you see with your own eyes how I'll kill your old lover today. Wang Mang shouted coldly and took a step forward, charging towards Jian Filiu. Suppressing Wang Mang. Junior sister. Jian Filiu gritted his teeth and flew up to the sky. You can't escape. Wang Mang stepped forward with an imposing aura. The purple flames were too terrifying. Everywhere he passed, the space turned into a vacuum. The Wang family was an ancient family. Their bloodline talent was of the fire type, which was extremely shocking. This was especially true for the direct descendants of the Wang family. It was said that they could awaken a bloodline called the ultimate purple heavenly fire. This bloodline, when combined with a god-grade cultivation technique, the sky-burning inferno, could unleash a terrifying power. Lu Ming was not in a hurry to make a move. Jian Filiu had to face this matter himself. However, if Jian Filiu was in danger, he would not sit by and do nothing. Gold destruction slash. Jian Filiu growled. The dazzling golden light all over his body converged as if it was condensed into the sword in his hand. An extremely sharp feeling spread out from the sword. Immediately, a dark golden sword light slashed towards Wang Mang. A demigod-level martial technique. Wang Mang's pupils shrank as he let out a low roar. Immediately, the flames on his body rose sharply. Purple extreme break. The purple halberd gushed out, causing the space to rumble. A terrifying boom reverberated between heaven and earth. The dark golden sword light was shattered and Jian Filiu's body was thrown far away. He coughed up blood in the air. There were even purple flames on his body. They were burning fiercely as if they were going to burn Jian Filiu into ashes. You have a demigod-level martial technique? What a pity that you didn't cultivate it well. It's someone else's martial technique and not a bloodline martial technique. You want to stop me? Die! Wang Mang shouted as he strode forward and attacked Jian Filiu. What he used was his own bloodline martial technique. Although he wasn't at the demigod level, he was extremely close to it. With the combination of the god-level Raging Flame Sky-Burning technique and the extreme Purple Heavenly Fire bloodline, he defeated Jian Filiu's attack in one fell swoop. Jian Filiu's demigod-level martial technique was obtained from the underground world's holy mountain. He had only just started cultivating it, so it wasn't very powerful. Naturally, he wasn't Wang Mang's match. Jian Filiu has lost. Is he going to be killed by Wang Mang? The Wang clan is too powerful. Their bloodline is terrifying, and with the addition of a god-grade cultivation technique, who can defeat them? He was almost invincible in a battle of the same level. Jian Filiu was strong, but he couldn't escape defeat. That's right. All along, the top 10 heavenly kings on the Heavenly King ranking were occupied by the 6 ancient families. The top spots on the Heavenly King ranking were also occupied by the geniuses from the 6 ancient families. Let's not talk about the Heavenly King list. Even the top of the list of top 1,000 talents are occupied by the 6 great ancient families. Only after the rise of the Heavenly Corpse sect did there be geniuses who could compete with the geniuses of the 6 great ancient families. In the midst of everyone's exclamations, Wang Mang's halberd had already slashed towards Jian Filiu. It seemed that Jian Filiu's defeat was already set in stone. Boom! At this moment, a vast fist radiance pierced through the void and headed toward Wang Mang. Who's there? You dare to sneak attack me? Wang Mang shouted angrily. He changed the direction of his halberd and swung it at the fist radiance. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and Wang Mang's body moved slightly, taking 3 steps back. A slender figure stepped out and walked to Jian Filiu. It was Lu Ming. Brother Jian, are you all right? Lu Ming said. Brother Lu, I'm sorry to have embarrassed myself. This person is very strong. Wang Mang recognized Lu Ming and sneered, Kid, don't think that you can fight me just because you defeated a piece of trash ranked at the bottom of the list of top 1,000 talents. If you want to experience the sky-burning flames, you better be prepared to be killed. With just you, I'm afraid you're not as mature as everyone. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Although the cultivation technique was powerful, it also depended on who was cultivating it. It was not said that one would be powerful and invincible after cultivating a god-grade cultivation technique. Take the true war dragon technique as an example. If someone else were to cultivate it, they might not be able to cultivate to the highest realm and possess 10 times the true energy. The power would be different depending on who cultivated it. Lu Ming's meaning was clear. Wang Mang had not mastered it yet. What big words! Wang Mang's eyes narrowed, and a cold killing intent flashed in them. He took a step forward and continued to charge at Lu Ming. He swung his halberd, burning everything in his path. Lu Ming cast the explosive star fist and threw a punch. The fist ray contained 2 concepts of heaven and earth, thunder and fire. Boom! The fist radiance and the halberd collided, creating a violent boom. What a powerful force! It turns out that you've comprehended 2 wills. Unfortunately, it's only level 1, and you want to stop me? Kill! Wang Mang strode forward, his entire body seemingly turning into flames. It was as if a purple sun had appeared in the night sky. There were more and more people in the surroundings. At this time, thousands of people had gathered and were watching carefully. Most of the people were peak-tier kings who had come to participate in the Battle of the Heavenly King list. He could use this opportunity to understand the combat strength of others and compare them with himself. Some of them were even the top 700 on the list of top 1,000 talents, and some of them were extremely powerful elders. The intent realm that Wang Mang had comprehended was the flame intent realm. It was obvious that he had already reached level 2. Oh, really? Then, add another one. The wind mentality also burst out. The 3 mentalities combined and exploded, pushing the power of the exploding star fist to the extreme. Boom! With a violent boom, a beam of light filled the sky, illuminating the entire city. Lu Ming did not move, but Wang Mang was retreating. 3 intents? Impossible! A look of disbelief flashed across Wang Mang's eyes. He had never thought that someone would be able to cultivate all 3 intents to such a level. Purple Extreme Break. Wang Mang's aura exploded as he performed his heaven-level upper-class bloodline martial technique. The purple flame seemed to be able to break through all obstacles. "I've said it before, you're not up to standard." Lu Ming sneered and the essential core in his body circulated wildly. Just now, Lu Ming did not use all his essential core. If he were to use it now, he would completely crush anyone of the same level with his true essence. The fist radiance of the exploding star fist was even more terrifying. Lu Ming threw dozens of punches in an instant. Each of his punches was like a shooting star, flying toward Wang Mang. Boom! Boom! The sound of explosions continued. After a few dozen explosions, Wang Mang's figure retreated rapidly, blood spilling from his mouth. He was injured and was completely suppressed by Lu Ming. "Damn it, attack and kill him!" Wang Mang bellowed. As soon as he finished speaking, the two elders' figures flickered and they pounced on Lu Ming. These two elders were both peak-tier king tiers, but they had definitely lived for a very long time. Other than the fact that their heaven and earth intent realm hadn't broken through to the second level yet, they were extremely terrifying in all other aspects. Their battle power wasn't much weaker than Wang Mang's. The two of them joined forces and suppressed Lu Ming. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He took a step forward and struck out two palms in a row. These two palms were ordinary, but they contained a terrifying force. The prison-suppressing heaven art. With two dull sounds, the two old men retreated quickly, blood spurting from their mouths. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.